You gotta hit like 5 buttons.
I can get in that intro.
Yiddly whoopty whoop hell.
Hey, Paul, watch this. Zin. I threw it up in the air and caught it like a dog.
He learned that sleeping with a bunch of dudes at the Coast Guard boat.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bass and Brews, your weekly distraction from high-quality podcasts. That's Paul.
Real quick.
I haven't even fucking started.
Forget, and it has,
We're 1
I'm
minute
gonna forget.
in.
I'm going to forget, but did you watch the video that I sent you to scroll up to the 2-minute mark?
No.
When we get in a diatribe and you get off into La La Land, you have got to do it and go scroll to that 2-minute mark.
No.
I promise you.
You could have covered this before.
No, you have got to do it. It is podcast business. You've got to do it. You should have done it earlier today. Go ahead.
Great. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever fucking day you're listening to the show. Thank you so much for listening. If you guys would like to help support the show, you can head over to patreon.com/bassandbrews, become a producer of the show. That'll give you access to not only being fucking super cool and helping support some extracurricular activities me and Paul may possibly have lined up. It'll also give you access to Last Call with Alex and Paul, the Patreon exclusive live show where Paul and I sit and talk to you guys, the producers. And yeah, it's a fun time. It's not like Bass and Brews, just to make sure it's clear. It's me and Paul. We kind of talk fishing. Paul talks about barbecue, and then he gets real sexual with rubs. It's a good time though.
Hey, look, if you want to support the show, you can just listen to the show and leave us a 5-star review, and then write the absolute worst review that you can give us, as long as you leave 5 stars. But look, we don't have sponsors. We don't do all that stuff. We don't try to, we don't have any of that. So if you want to help us out with the show, just go do the Patreon. It's like $4.99 a month.
That's it.
And that is what's helping fund.
It's cheaper than Brazzers.com.
And almost a week and a day, a week and like 6 hours, Alex will be in North Carolina at Jordan Lake. And I'm a hug a fart out of him.
That's it.
And we're going to camp for the weekend and do some fun stuff.
And he mentioned, make sure you guys go to Apple, leave a 5-star review, and the meanest comment. You can go on also on Spotify, pick your favorite episode, leave a shitty comment in there because we'll read them. Because guess what? We got a new one.
Yes.
This is from Friendly Bass Informant. He says, worst show for family. I would never replay the show for anyone, ever. But you now hold my 9-year-old's favorite fishing story he's ever heard. It was the episode that spent 30 minutes of a cameraman talking about aqua dumping. Never seen that kid so excited to get out on the water until now. Hey, Friendly Bass Informant. We're here to spread the news that don't shit your pants, just poo in the water. Learn from me, learn from Clint. But make sure if you're going to do it,
that's
just make
Clint
sure
Bartlett episode.
Make sure that you're away, that you got a little bit of current. Otherwise, you're going to be dodging your own logs. But again, head over there.
Hold on. Unless you are putting your fishing shit out there, social media content, one of the 4 ways to go viral is to shit your pants. The other 3 is to hook yourself, hook somebody else, or fall out the boat.
That's it.
But if you're going to poop and, if you think you can't make it, just shit your pants, videotape it, put it out there. You're going to go viral. It's a Bass and Brews rule.
I love it. All right. And then one more little update. Remember, we listen to you guys, the listeners. We want to hear who you want to send the pleasure of being on the show. So you can hit us up on the socials, or you can go to bassandbrews@gmail.com, shoot us an email. Tell some creators, some folks in the outdoor/fishing realm that you'd like to see on the show, or just leave us a hate comment there too. We'll probably read that also.
Yep, we love when people are mean to us. Yeah,
Paul, how's your week? Oh, that's right. Nobody gives a fuck at all.
Yeah, we don't even do that.
Do your silly What's your silly fucking intro for this, Paul?
All right, on Bass and Brews. So tonight we have Sassy Dan and Steve-O. Steve Owens, the TD for Bass Kayak Fishing, BASS. He's here, and I'm excited. And we're going to get into a little bit of why I'm so excited a little bit later. But y'all know on Bass and Brews, we don't read off a bio of who they are and what their accomplishments are. We always ask the question, what is the journey that brought you here to where you are today? But tonight, we got an unsolicited bio from Steve-O. And so I'm going to read this, and I don't think he sent it as his bio, but I feel like
it's his bio though, for sure.
When he sent it and I read, I feel like this is Steve-O's bio. And so I'm going to read this introducing Steve. All right. This is Steve Owens, TD, Bassmaster Kayak Series. Quote, back in the day, I used to be described as the man with a bucket full of balls and enough hair on my ass to weave an Indian blanket. There are things that I can do in this world that most people can only imagine. Not only have I been able to overcome sleep deprivation my entire adult life, I've also set damn near a record at being stupid and still surviving. Snaps for Steve-O. Welcome, Steve-O, with snaps. Sassy Dan snaps. Sassy Dan with snaps for Steve-O.
You don't have to do snaps. You don't have to do it.
Spirit fingers.
Hey, I
drop them down, though. If you got spirit fingers, you got to drop them down.
I thought that bio was familiar. I had seen it on this weird picture on the silversingles.com website for the elderly.
Oh, wow.
And I just realized that's Steve's alter ego.
Same guy, evidently.
Yeah, that's Steve-O's bio from those early 90s dating VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Steve-O,
we actually, me and my uncle, he was a contractor, and we worked at an apartment complex, and yeah. And these college dudes carried out about 4 boxes and threw them next to a dumpster, and we went and scooped them up. I was probably like 14 or whatever, and yeah, we took them. We took them all back. My parents went out of town, and yeah, it was the good VHSs. It was the ones we wanted. Yeah.
Oh, that was the good porn. That was you were 14, so that was what, the early 80s, right?
Yeah, I think I was born in 75, so it'd be like 88, 87, 88. Yeah.
You know, the reason that we had to move to DVDs is the bush got so big that a VHS couldn't hold it, and they had to move to DVD just to encase all of it.
Real grainy. Yeah.
Well, yeah. You get that pause line on most of the VHSs where somebody just got on the right at the money shot and started doing lines down the center of it.
Those are the only VHSs that they got played so much that the shit had skips and stuff in it, like it was a DVD.
It's funny.
Yeah. That and old NWA tapes.
So, Steve-O, welcome to Bass and Brews. And as I alluded to earlier, I'm super stoked to have you on because I do tournament fishing. I said do. Alex does not, but Alex knows who you are. We've obviously had a ton of people on that know you well. And I have seen you hop on to some of our lives before and comment on some of our social media posts. And I used to always be like, oh, man, this is cool as hell, Steve-O. And so I've met you before. You probably don't remember me. It was at Santee last year, checking boards and this stuff. We talked briefly. But then we had Wyatt Hammond, the Kayak Bass Fishing Championship champion, buddy, North Carolina guy. Friend of the podcast. He's the one that gave us Bass or Ass. And you were in the comments, and I was like, you know what? Let me reach out to Steve and see if he wants to come on Bass and Brews. And you commented back pretty quickly and says, yeah, I'm kind of, upset or sad that I haven't been on before. And
I felt left out. I've watched for 2 or 3 years here. And I was like,
holy shit. Yeah.
So I text Alex, hey, dude, Steve-O, the TD for Bass, said that he was sad he's never been invited on.
And I think my response was like, get the fuck out of here. No fucking way. Like there's no way. There's no way. When I hear that somebody who's like in the industry and then they're like, oh, I listen to Bass and Brews. I'm like, what, were you dropped on your fucking head as a kid? Like, you're successful in this realm. Why are you listening to our dirtbaggery? But it's great.
There's people that eat boogers and enjoy it. So, I mean, it's not like it's something great, but, it's what it is.
Speaking of eating boogers, though, when you grow up in the South, it's pollen season in the South now. And so when you pick some of those boogers out in the morning times, because the pollen's got you stopped up, your allergies got your snot, your nose is all crusty. Some of those boogers look like fucking Fruity Pebbles. And if you're a booger eater, I get it, because they look like Fruity Pebbles, which is one of the most delicious cereals out there.
Yeah, green Fruity Pebbles. I got hammered. Like when we come back from Havasu, I went straight to Florida, and the pollen was flying in the air. I come home for a few days and went to Seminole, same thing. And then I go to Texas, and Daniel was a part of that. Like you, we lost vision because we had so much pollen in our eyes. Like,
your phone would be yellow, sitting on the table. Yeah. It was terrible.
Awful. And then I come home, and there's new trees that I've never seen before, just spraying it all in the air. Sucks.
I know we're all getting jizzed in the face by the trees, and they're just laughing. Speaking of Sassy Dan, Steve-O, why don't you introduce Dan, since he didn't introduce himself to Alex or I? Give us a rundown. Give us an introduction on Dan.
He kind of did. I'm not going to read the comment, but he kind of did.
Sassy Dan is a gentleman that I met probably, I don't know, what was it?
Long time ago.
Me and Lambert been buddies since about 06. It's probably about 08, going to ball games and stuff, mutual friends, and hung out a little bit, drank beer and carry on. And then probably about 7-8 years ago, he reached out. We don't live far from each other. We're probably like 15 minutes from each other. And he had water on his dad's property there, and was wanting to get a little kayak and get in. And so he came and demoed one that I had for sale, and then we just took off, and he's like, literally, we carry on all the time about stuff, but literally the reason that I was able to leave my career and do this full time, because he helps me with everything, and we get to travel and just have a blast. I literally honestly say, he's the only friend I've ever had in my life that I have not one time been pissed off at. I don't know how it happened. Not one time.
We got a 2-hour podcast. We can try to hit that tonight.
Yes. We're gonna. Hey, Dan, I know you got some shit that you've been holding on to that you need to get off your chest about Steve-O. We're gonna dive into that tonight. Hey, well, that's funny that you say that. You just said you left your career to start this, but we didn't go into it. What is this that you left your career to start doing?
For about 5 years of my normal job, which I was a reactor operator for 26 years. I was in maintenance at another plant for a good little while.
Nuclear reactor?
No, chemical reactor. I work for BASF, WR Grace. My wife's nuclear security at the nuclear plant here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So y'all got the handcuffs and everything.
Oh yeah, we got the rifles and the whole 9 yards, and so.
Do you have the furry handcuffs, or is it just the regular ones?
No, it's not. We don't have a lot of luxury around here. We live in Saudi Daisy. So,
Steve calls the cops on police brutality in his bedroom. He's like, she won't stop hitting me. I already put my hands behind my back. Damn it.
Dude, leave that TVA attitude at work. And then Lambert and another boy had started a grassroots club here on Chickamauga, and I took it over during the first year. None of us knew what the heck we were doing, and so it just kind of grew. And then I started running the KBF stuff when it come around, and then I started working. AJ introduced me to Jamie at Dugout Bait and Tackle, and then I started working with them. And he said, just give me time, and we'll figure out a way to make it happen. And we did. So I worked for them, and I run. With Daniel, the Bassmaster Kayak Series, Georgia Bass Nation, and Tennessee Bass Nation.
Oh, wait, I thought you guys were the Hobie BOS guys. Oh, shit, we got a misscheduling here, I feel like.
No, we cashed checks in the BOS, but we didn't. I was
on Gunnersville,
yeah. I got four of them checks out there, and maybe TOC, but AJ and I started the Hobie BOS College Series together. I ran it for a year, and then
oh wow, That's actually
then the
cool
Bassmaster
shit, yeah.
thing opened up.
Yeah.
Then the Bassmaster opened up. Hell, he just lived like 20 minutes from me. He got a place here on Chickamauga for a while, and phenomenal dude.
So Steve-O did a great job, giving us the high level, but he is the TD for Bass, BASS, Bassmaster Kayak.
That's what he said.
Fishing. I didn't hear him say it. I'm sorry.
That's your fault.
It's like 88 degrees here, and I'm in the garage, and I'm trying to figure out how to get my air conditioner turned on, so I might have missed it. But
hydrate.
It's I do. I've got White Claw Surges, 8 alcohols in them. But here's the funny thing is, so Bass was looking for a new TD a couple years ago, and Steve-O's name kind of got thrown around in the social media realm, and I only knew Steve-O through him running pretty much every trail in Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia, and then he got it, and so Bass was kind of in a transition period of, is it going to go somewhere, or is it going to end? And we're at the point now that they're the premier trail for national kayak tournaments, and it's going good. You got great locations. Had a hell of a Bassmaster Kayak Championship, aka Kayak Classic, down there on Fort. I mean, or was it Fort?
This one,
yeah.
Fort, yeah. I mean, things are going good. Things are going good, man. You've taken what you said you didn't know what the hell you were doing a couple handful of years ago, and you've turned it into the premier national trail out there now. How's that make you feel?
I like I kind of messaged you. I mean, I know we do a good job at what we do, but I mean, like, Dwayne called me when we were all under NDAs when they were building the Bassmaster series, and then me and Daniel, we ran the very first Bassmaster on Logan Martin. At 230 something people. I mean, we were scared to death. And it was flooding. Nobody carried a backup paddle, no nothing. And so anyway,
bass boater guys jumping in the paddle kayaks and getting stranded.
Yeah, people were just buying kayaks just to fish. And I still, because I grew up fishing for crappie on Nickajack. I didn't bass fish. Me and Lambert fished out of kayaks for over a year, and he was like, "Man, you need to come do this." And I was like, "Man, you're stupid. I'm catching 30 crappie every trip. Why do I want to go try to catch one bite, And I caught one on purpose, and then it got me hooked. But anyway, we helped out with the first season to get it off the ground, and ran, Chickamauga event, another one, but just didn't have time to stick with it with my job. And I was building the dugout stuff with everybody, and some years went by, and it kind of dipped, but it was just, just needed something it didn't have. And so they called me and was like, hey, anybody that would want to do this? So I put together a list, and we started contacting people. I was just trying to help. And with Chris Bose, the man that took it over, the reassurance is, I called Daniel like after the second day and started talking to my wife, and I was like, can we do this? And she's good with money. So she was like, let's buckle down and do this. And then sure, you can do it. Bet on yourself.
Real quick. Any married man that fishes has got to have a wife that's good with money, because we are not. Because we are not.
Oh God. If I'd have got out of her way, because I've always had a side hustle, whether it's, vinyl albums, sports memorabilia, guns, moonshine, whatever. I've always had a side hustle, and man, she used to get so pissed off. They'll have like 90 transactions a week in a checkbook. She's like a little old granny. She still does it with an ink pen. And so she was just like, look, let's just put the bill money over here and this and that. And that's about the time Daniel got into fishing. And man, we like to eat steak, and we like to buy steak with our rods and reels. And so, man, I spent so much money. About 4 years. Hell, our house could be paid off. But yeah, to your point, yeah. And so
but at least you're on Bass and Brews now.
Yeah, you've made it to the
We're here.
You made it to the toilet.
Hey, that's another bullet point on the resume.
So Sassy Dan,
that's not a good idea to put on your resume.
They're going to go listen to your episode and be like, nope, this motherfucker ain't ever getting hired here. blacklisted in this whole industry. All right, Sassy Dan is. Oh, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, when we were thinking about getting sponsors, Paul was like, "Hey, give me like a top 5 episodes," and I was like, "Oh, these are like the best ones we've had." And then I listened to them, and I was like, "Nah, they're good, but nobody's gonna pay us." I said like shit, fuck 9 million times in that episode. Not gonna happen. Oh, this one he was talking about his butthole for an hour and a half. It was funny, but we ain't gonna get sponsored.
We spent about a whole year of 2024 talking about Astroglide every episode, numerous times.
Could sponsor you. You never know.
We're trying. We have a patent pending blend that the scientists have figured out. We're ready to pull the trigger. It has that real essence of Bass and Brews. It smells like old cigarettes and Paul's beard.
Is it bait fuel, Astroglide, and spit?
It's basically the same thing. Yeah, I just put it all into a Astroglide bottle.
Speaking of those 1980 version VASs, yeah, we got a little spit added into it too.
Listen, it's real nice. Don't worry, you guys are gonna be able to get it soon. I don't know when. Probably
only
not,
burns a little.
Yeah,
that's right.
The tagline.
I'm trying to get the mixture right in my garage. My garage looks like an episode of Breaking Bad when they were in the RV of me trying to get this right. It just hadn't turned out good.
It's Paul out there.
Throw it on a flipping and
it's Paul out there like with the apron on, just his ass cheeks out. And his wife's like, "What are you doing?" And it's him like cooking up, and he's like, "I'm trying to make the best lube ever. Get out of here.
I'm trying to get to the third knuckle here. Go away."
God damn. Hey, speaking of Sassy Dan,
telling you, the most inappropriate friend I got is to the bottom right of the screen right there. He's something else.
Well, he will fit in good here because sometimes we have a from the cut to the butt type of joke, and we just
he don't have a problem fitting in about anywhere. There ain't nothing that's been
Well, you said he does. He does love his butthole. So I mean,
I can't tell. Did Steve-O just say you got a little wiener, Dan? He said there's nowhere that you can't fit in. That just means you got a little
he's
wiener.
Got such a welcoming personality. Yeah. He fits in anywhere. That's what I meant.
Every orifice will stretch. It's okay.
2 or 20, old son. 2 or 20.
2 or 20.
So is Sassy Dan your administrative assistant, or is he your assistant TD? Like, where does he fit in with this? Because we invited you on. We had a whole group conversation going on, and then you said, "Hey, what can my buddy Dan come on?" I think you said Danny.
No, he said
Sassy Dan. He hates the name Dan unless it's sassy. His name is Daniel.
Listen, that's not what he said.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Paul,
he's got another offensive Dan that he says, by the way.
He said, "Hey, I'm having trouble tracking all this. Can I get my personal assistant Daniel on?" And we said, "You have a personal assistant?" And he was like, "Listen, I've got bitches. What do you want me to do?" And then the other group chat started.
Sounds right.
So how did Dan get involved with you running the Bass Kayak Series?
He held still just a little too long.
I'll tell you the origin story of this. So Steve-O said that we demoed a kayak. I'd bought a Perception 10 that you could stand up in, and it was shaky, shady as shit.
You ain't as big as me if you could stand up in a Perception 10.
So it was a striker, so they claimed you could stand up in it. It was sketchy, so I sat in it. Didn't have a seat, nothing. And the reason I got into it is because I fished in my younger years, and I saw Steve-O posting pictures, on Facebook and everything else, him and his kayaks and everything. So I reached out to him. And I bought a kayak, went out twice in a paddle kayak, and he said, "Hey, come on, fish with me." So we went out to Saudi Creek, and he had his native Slayer 13.5 propel, and me and John Ferguson were out there, and we went to the bank. He said, "Hey, you need to try this thing."
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
Kayak,
so I get. Yeah, that and the kayak. And so I get in the pedal drive and go out there, and I'm like, "Oh God, this is a game changer." And he says, "Hey," he said, "I'll sell you this one for what I can buy another one for." And it's like, "All right, cool." So send the money. So I got a pedal drive kayak, started fishing tournaments and everything. And then all of a sudden, he took over TVKA. Then this some bitch started handing me the phone at check-in to start judging fish.
Personal assistant.
All of a sudden,
just to familiarize people with the process.
Like literally said, "Hey, can you help out count the money?" Then he said, "Hey, can you help judge fish?" Or he said, "Here's the phone, judge people's fish," off the phone. And then all of a sudden, I'm a director of TVKA. Didn't ask for that shit. Nothing.
Sassy Dan just wants to fish. Jesus.
I was coming out to fish. So I get hoodwinked into that.
Did you get paid for that, or did he just
hell no, this is local trail stuff.
Yeah, I know.
This local trail stuff. Nobody got paid for that. We just out there trying to cash a check.
Warm beer rolling around in the floor.
Warm beer, sponsor prizes, and that kind of stuff. And
fishing for $200, baby.
Astroglide. Yeah, that's where we got to get it in at the local level.
Then we hosted. So if you don't know about CAS is the Kayak Angler Society of Tennessee. There's 10 clubs, I believe, 9 or 10 clubs, all under one umbrella, same rules and everything. It's highly organized and probably some of the best, local clubs in the country under one umbrella. And all of a sudden he said, "Hey, we need a secretary or sexetary." I can remember which one he said, because we had all these clubs and we had some of these strong-headed directors, and it's like, hey, we needed a third party objective, somebody that's not in this shit, to write the rules and do everything like that. It's like, shit, whatever, man, I'll do that shit. And
you know what we paid him to do that? We let him win the 2 best raffles we've ever had back to back.
Oh, I got lucky a couple times, but anyway, so we did that.
Hold on. We can't skip that now. What were the 2 best raffles? What did we win?
The first one was, so we ended up hosting the CAS State Championship. It actually gets random drawed out to every club in the state. If you have a 2-year block, if you've hosted before, 3-year block, can't remember. I wrote the rule, I can't fucking remember. But we did this Tennessee Trailers. We got a trailer from them, and we started selling raffle tickets because we're trying to help, our state team and everything or bolster that. So I dumped in probably $80 worth of raffle tickets for it, and we're doing the state championship. I'm the one that's in, I guess, kind of emceeing the raffle prizes and everything.
He's doing the Vinny spinny wheel
on a fucking TV, and
100 people sitting there in the audience.
100 people sitting there, and I click the damn button, and I shit you not, Daniel Davis pops up on this. I won the kayak trailer, and I was like, guys, I said, we're using this for the rest of the prizes. I said, somebody come over and look at this shit. Well, after I started awarding raffle prizes and people saw that shit wasn't fixed, it was okay. Then next year, there's no longer in Tennessee, it's Clinch Mountain. We were in Watts Bar. And so they're like, hey, you ran the raffle prizes last year, do that shit this year. And I'm like, okay, cool. We had the damn Spring City mayor next to me. And we had a NRX, or what was it?
It's an NRX Bantam combo.
NRX Bantam MGL combos. First fucking prize that come up. Click the damn button. I shit you not. Boom. But it was the second raffle prize. We give them one out, and then it was the second one. I said, Mayor, I need you to come over here and announce this shit. So I got a
$3,000 trailer and $1,000 rod and
$1,000 combo. So yeah, the luck ran out after
Listen,
that.
You're a nice guy. I would have been like, ha, suckers, I won. Yeah. Fuck you.
It is what it is, but yeah, so it didn't look all right, but I was like, hey, we're using the same shit as last year. People might be grumbled. I don't know.
I won the first draw last year. I'm using the same system this year. I won the first draw and then the next year, like, damn, nope, he ain't running no drawings this year.
I made Mayor come over there and read that shit off. It was all right. He said, yep, that's the name. I was like, cool, nobody kill me. So
all right, so back to the original. How did you get started with Steve-O with Bass?
Yeah, so we just came off of running that state championship. It was one of the highest attended events ever. And then the Logan Martin thing came up for the first event for Bassmaster. He's like, hey, you want to come do this? Come see the classic. And I think I got paid $150 for that shit. But we went down there, 230 anglers, ran board check. I judged, I'm gonna say 99% of the fish. At Steve-O every freaking call. of anglers getting stranded. It was such a shit show. He was coordinating emergency services because these people were out there with one battery, a trolling motor, running it dead, no backup paddle, nothing.
No paddle.
Perfect.
No
Perfect.
nothing.
Oh God. It was such a crap show.
And just to be clear for me, the Logan Martin is the actual first one. But there's a lot of people right, but a lot of people say that the actual real first one was the Possum Kingdom. So was this one the year before that?
It was the year before that. Right. I actually qualified and fished the Possum Kingdom from Pickwick.
Didn't we have a guy on that Possum Kingdom one?
Yeah, we had Justin Faircloth came on because he was right beside
Glenday. Didn't we have Glenday? Greg Glenday?
Yeah, Glenday fished it. So we had a couple of North Carolina guys, and Justin was at the same ramp as why am I having a Pendergraft. Yeah, where Pendergraft caught those fish because Justin gave him his net at some point. So yeah, we had conversations with guys that were there. But yeah, okay. So the actual real first one was an open, and that's where both of y'all got started with bass on that. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
makes sense. That was the Wild Wild West. Like we had a couple years there. That 2021-22 season of national kayak fishing. That was the Wild Wild West. That was the pinnacle of it. You know, it's really,
and it was pre-COVID. That's what was cool. Yeah, we had 2 years before COVID when it was hot and heavy. I mean, hell, we would have 120 to 100. What's the biggest KBF we ran was 168 on Gunnersville. Yep. You know?
Oh yeah.
You know, other than the national championships, they never had events that big. You know?
Yeah, and that's great. It's like Queen City. You know, during those 21 and 22 was averaging 120. 120, and they're a local club. They're not regional.
Like
they're
Mountain State Kayak Anglers used to do in West Virginia. Yeah,
it's crazy. That was the heydays of kayak fishing. It doesn't seem like that long ago because that's when I started kayak fishing. That's when I started this podcast, and so we were bringing a bunch of folks on from that. And then now it seems like
you didn't start this podcast.
I said when I started this podcast. When I began coming on this podcast.
When you started doing this podcast.
Right.
Alex, you said
it like you were the alpha and the omega there.
Well, this podcast would have ended if Alex had not brought me on. So there we've got that. I'm just as much an owner as him.
Sure. That sounded kind of pitiful saying that, by the way.
It did, yeah.
Dan, you're talking to me, Dan? Bitch, I will kick your ass out of here. You got a beautiful beard. You're a day walker. I have a little bit of love in my heart for you being a redhead. So we already know that means you can fish because I've never met a redhead that wasn't a hammer. Will Big Inches Lambert and Wyatt Hammond are both reddies. And so, you know,
Ewing Minor.
Ewing Minor.
Ewing Minor. I mean, you know, I think is Russ redheaded or is he a strawberry?
Russ is kind of strawberry.
Look, if you're not blonde or brown, you're redheaded.
I can't believe it's just four dudes wondering if a guy's hair is red or strawberry blonde.
Look at his eyebrows. Look at his eyebrows.
No, I think Sassy Dan's got it right. Next time we have Russ on, I'm gonna tell him to drop trout. Let me see what he's working with, and we can figure it out from there.
Your bald hair is red. You're a redhead. You're a day walker. But anyway, I fucking forgot where we were. Now, Dan's still trying to tell us how he got into this. And
I got him roped in.
Logan Martin.
Yeah, how he got
Daniel does this because he loves me.
There we go. There we go.
Right.
So you pretty much got roped in by Steve-O to start being a TD.
Yeah.
Not only a TD, you know,
the personal assistant to the TD.
Oh, he's having to judge.
He is co-TD. He is co-TD.
The assistant.
He is the sounding board. He is the look here, MFer. This is what you're doing. You know, that's
Well,
I've got about five
buddies of those moments.
I've got about 5 buddies that'll grab me and shake me and say, "Hey, listen," and that's literally how I do everything. I can't come up with a good idea to save my life, but I will do whatever you tell me and I'll make it work. That's why we're successful.
There you go. That's all that matters. But judging fish, fuck that. Bo, that's the
this son of a buck, boy, he would sit there like crisscross applesauce, like he's watching the Golden Girls, and just go through fish all day long. It's something, man. He's
you have to, because kayak anglers are the biggest fucking cheaters in the world.
All right, actually, that's a really good point. So we asked some of our listeners on our Discord. If you guys don't know, we have a Discord server. If you'd like access to that. Yep.
What is a Discord?
It's like a chat server.
Degenerate platform. It's okay.
It really is. But
y'all are destroying America with all this digital stuff.
We really are. But if you guys want access to that, hit me up at bassandbrews@gmail or on the socials. I can send you the link. But we had Dink No Stink Fishing. Our boy wants to know, how do tournaments prevent cheating? Like, is there a special unit of people that sweep the water for like fish cages? I've seen some videos of guys finding them on lakes. How do you guys handle cheating?
Well, I'll be honest with you. We've only had everything we've done, Dan. If you can think back, I think I'd done this 2 years before he got in it. So I've been in it much longer than him.
Yeah.
And by that 2 years, it's like 16 tournaments, maybe grassroots. Right. So in 10 years, literally, we've had one person take some pictures in a John boat and try to cover it up with his jacket and some garbage.
Perfect. Perfect.
And that's the only cheater. Now, we've had some people with casting early and say, no, I didn't do it. But, we had to, but other than that, man, hell, we hadn't had any cheating.
We've had some, hey, take a polygraph or go type thing.
Well, we did in Georgia. I forgot about that. This old boy was bringing fish from the golf pond to a body of water that does not have 8-pounders. So,
listen, congrats.
He had a stringer on the side of his boat, and then would just pick one up throughout the day, but like, we go.
Oh, Daniel was fishing Hartwell within eye shot of him on Saturday of the Bassmaster that year, and he didn't fish the Queen City. He fished the Queen City and he fished our Georgia Bass, but he didn't fish a Bassmaster, which
didn't fish Bassmaster.
Yeah. And whenever he stroked them and give you the back half, he wouldn't come to awards.
Yep.
Yeah. And anyway, it all closed in on him. And here's the thing. Yeah. You got to be careful whenever you catch someone. You can't put them on blast on social media because you'll just get sued. That's the way there is,
Right.
Grubby just caught somebody and they did a great job catching them, but you can't throw the names out there, but people want that blood, that pitchfork.
Sure.
And torches. Yeah. But we don't give them that. We say, guys, there was a situation. We handled it. They're gone. They're like, well, we deserve this or this. No, you deserve a person that will take care of it. And know that it's done. It's not my job to give you a pinata, So
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, listen. Huge props to that guy. Hold on. Huge props to that guy.
We're not going to give you a fucking pinata.
Right. Huge props to that guy, because if you're going to cheat big, take those big ones from the fucking golf course. Put a fucking
he wants
striper.
Some money, old son.
Put an Atlantic striper and just paint that bitch green. Put a 50-pound striper. Put that thing on a board. Paint it green and say that it's a largemouth. No problem. I think I applaud you for at least trying hard.
I mean, a ton of it's just attention to detail, and you're like, after all the fish are judged, everybody's in the money. We go back through, look at times, look at fish, and I'll go ahead and tell you, like, I'm spotting duplicates now as far as just first glance of the fish. It's just like, I've seen that fish before. Whenever you judge so freaking many of them. We had a Tennessee Bass Nation on Lake Douglas, and I had 3 people on a one-day event. They caught the same fish twice, 4 to 5 hours apart. Now, not the same fish, but they were in the same area, casting the same stupid-ass fish.
Right.
Again, and they had no idea. But it's just that much of an attention to detail, looking at coloring, looking at, the tails, and, it's something that, there's people that probably do get away with it, but, it's hard to get away with it, especially looking at the eye and, just all the wonderful features, and then asking for follow-up videos. So we do what we can to try to vet everything that we do. And but attention to detail is a huge part of it. You got to go pretty quick, because my goal when judging is, if they've got a fish that's got, they took a bad picture, I almost want to judge just quick enough to where they still got that fish, and I can almost call them and say,
right.
You'll have it. But that's the goal, so they can either submit a correction or whatever. But you still got to go back at the final checks, go back through every single one of the fish of the people that are paying, getting paid out, or even deeper than that on the field, and just know what you're looking at, or having another set of eyes. There's been, some of the Bassmasters, it'll be me and another judge, and this other judge, my best friend, I actually trained her as far as judging fish.
Best girlfriend.
Ain't my girl.
Whoa. Best friend,
best
girlfriend,
big,
best friend. Best girlfriend. Steve-O's my best guy friend. I got a best friend that's a girl. How about that?
It's a joke.
Didn't say best girlfriend. He just
gal friend.
Yeah, gal friend. But
listen, friend.
She's judged now. She's judged more fish than in events than I have.
Right.
And going through the Hobie, the Bassmaster, and even backing up me on some of the stuff. But there's something I may miss that other judge catches.
Well, you brought up a good point that I feel like a lot of anglers probably don't understand, is when you have people judging fish, and that's what they do every tournament. So a local tournament, if it's a national tournament, whoever it is, the people that are judging fish, they see so many, they can pick up on little nuances, and so they can see if it was a duplicate real quick, like you said,
counting scales,
anything like that. Maybe their life jacket's not on. All these little intricacies that you can
it's
find.
Pulled down right to here.
Anything like that, or the mouth is open, stuff like that. I feel like that what you said with people who judge a lot of fish. Because when I go fishing, I submit my fish, and I look at my fish, and I submit them. I'm not looking at other people's fish and shit like that. So these judges, the people that are doing that, it's repetitive motion. You see a lot of stuff. And when you see something that's not right, and you start talking to other TDs and other people who judge, you kind of get that built into your brain, and you can pick stuff out a little bit quicker. And then y'all also have tools where, when we're looking at on the phone, y'all have tools where y'all can really zoom in and do measurements and stuff to kind of look at the open mouths or things like that. So that's the thing. And, we're talking about cheating, but submitting a duplicate fish, I mean, that's typically an accident, especially if you caught
it's
the fish.
rare. It's very rare. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's not always, that's the thing I feel like with the internet is they're cheating. It was an accident. Maybe they submitted the same fish twice because they were in a school and they were catching a bunch of fish and wanted to submit them all at once, and they just didn't manage their pictures right. Like, shit happens. But then you got people cutting tails. You got people tucking shit up underneath them to spread them out.
Listen, head over to us.
That shit.
I can paint a largemouth scheme on a fucking flathead catfish that will fool Sassy Dan. No, he won't even see it coming. Yes, I can. If you guys sign up at patreon.com/bassandbrews and become a producer,
he'll tell you how. That's the secret.
Listen, I'll paint it. You mail that bitch, regular old mail. You can do it in pieces. I'll paint that bitch in pieces. Then we'll just staple it together, and Sassy Dan won't be worth the wiser.
Don't believe Alex, because this dude bought shit to make T-shirts.
Screen printing.
Did it twice. Screen printing. Did it twice. And they were so bad, he wouldn't even send me one to try out. And it's probably sitting down there in his basement to his left. That,
it's right over there,
sitting there now.
Well, I had to move it to the side so I could really start this catfish painting business. So,
and one of the great things about the kayak community is that there's a lot of directors with integrity that we deal with, and whenever we have something, we want anglers to score the best score for their fish. But if there's something that's questionable, I'll throw it to Steve. Steve may actually throw it to a panel, and we're looking at the tops of the Vinnies of the world and everybody else to double check something to make sure that it's legit. And we all rely on each other on that kind of stuff, or as a community. It's because they're the experts that are out there, and So cheating it's an absolute minority. There's people that are going to try it, and there may be somebody that gets away with it, but they won't get away with it for too long. I'll tell you that shit.
Yeah,
unless they buy my
cheating nowadays. Yeah, most of the cheating nowadays is just violation of rules, or people that want to haul ass without their lights on or something like that. But I think, like to Daniel's point, we've got a really good system. So we've got 2 to 3 judges on whatever we do, and I don't judge the fish, because if you 3 are working on something and I do something, I don't want it to pull the tablecloth off. But what I do the entire day long is I go through the stringer nonstop. And if there's a 14 3/4, 14 3/4, I check duplicates all day long. And then that way, when we're at awards on Sunday and we're trying to get everything set up, get everybody herded, try to get the live stream up and going, make sure that we've got everything correct and we haven't missed anything. We've already done those duplicates from day 1 and day 2, probably at least 100 times. And so we don't have to worry about it. So like whenever him or our other judge does the final tally, we give them 20 minutes. They check the money winners, and he and I, if he's not the one checking the duplicates, we're free to get everything set up, make sure we get everybody in order, and then, do the awards and carry on. But
yeah, and that's the crazy thing about kayak fishing too. When you're fishing a 1-day tournament or you're fishing a 2-day tournament, when it comes down to it, like, you don't have a lot of time between awards and lines out and fish submitted and then awards. So you've got to be really on top of the ball, because when awards start, shit's got to be right. Because if it's fucked up, like, it's getting back up. People have to drive home. Yeah. I mean, it's not like weighing fish where
hell, we had we had Dickey's Arena. The people that run the arena had sound issues, and people said Bassmaster said to hell with the kayaks. I mean, it's just all weekend long, the elites, you couldn't hear anybody. I mean, it was better, but it was, it's sound, and the answer is, well, they should do a better job. Well, your kid runs off in the hedges. You just kick him in the ass and say, do a better job. No, it happens. It's electronics. If you ever get to go, I'm sure you all go to concerts and sporting events, when you see the sheer number of wires and cables that are run across the floor, one goes bad, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I mean, it's thousands of pounds of cables, and so, but that reminds me, I've got to check. There's typically, that's why you saw the guy on stage getting up with us with that camera. He was trying to pick up our microphone because he couldn't. And if you watch throughout the rest of the weekend, you would see Dave Mercer look up at Tommy in the booth, and when Tommy would get done talking, he would nod, and then Mercer. So they were cutting in and out 1 feed at a time, but that's it. You got to juggle. You got to juggle flaming torches, to keep things in order. It happens at every event.
Yeah, the biggest thing we're trying, like in every tournament we run, is like we tell the anglers, dude, all you got to worry about is what you got to worry about. Catch the fish, submit the fish. We'll take care of everything else. That way you got to stress.
Yeah.
Check your stringer, because we might not be able to call you. And we've started proactively not calling as many, because it enables a lot of people. They just submit their fish and sit there with their balls hanging out and fish the rest of the day. Don't check nothing.
That's me.
And so, and when you got, like, let's just say Susquehanna last year, myself and him and our other judge, and again, now he actually got on me. He was like, hey, because I feel bad, because again, he's my best friend. They do a lot for me. They are the reasons I have the life I live.
2,600 fish over 2 days.
That was fucking insane.
And so I always feel indebted to people. And so, and he just tells me to shut up and go on. But he was just like, hey, listen, leave the fish alone. Because he was working on a few, and they didn't have cell signal. And I did my thing. And so that's when we started doing, I don't touch the fish. I just look at duplicates all day long. And it's been so much smoother after that. But we started proactively, especially when Dwayne put it in where, like, you can do a push notification to the guy and, like, say, Alex, you got a deduction, but we tell the people over and over and over, it's your job to check your stringer, because I can't tell you how many people come up pissed off that we deducted a fish, or they only had 4 fish. Well, I had 5. I submitted 5. Well, if you would have submitted 5, I would have been able to judge 5, but you only got 4. Well, why didn't it go upload? I said, I don't know. Did you check your stringer throughout the day? Well, no. Well, you got to do the education process then, because I mean, I'm not going to belittle anybody, because you just don't do that to grown-ups.
You're talking to brick walls, though. Anglers, they ain't. I
like how Steve said, I'm not gonna. He's like, I'm not gonna shit on because they're grown men, and Paul's like, I got it. Don't worry, I got you.
I'll take care of it.
Hey, I got you, buddy.
Steve-O pawned Iaconelli off on me one day.
Oh boy,
I did.
Dude, I bet you when he argues, you know what? The one thing he doesn't do, he never gives up, and he never forgets.
He's on my phone. He's probably forgot me though.
He's like, holy shit, are you sure? I was screaming on the side of that kayak. It had to be at least 57 inches. And you're like, Mike, it was 7.5, and it was a bluegill. And he's like, I never give up. And we're like, cool, man, just go to the bathroom. I don't know why you're yelling at us in line.
He's
a good one.
Alex is just mad because Ike's half an inch taller than him. Alex is only 5'4". And Ike's 5'4.5", and Alex is just mad because he fishes better than him and he's taller. And
he's
Alex, you don't come out here with no goddamn Ike hate tonight, motherfucker. Don't come out here with Ike.
He's
hate
only
tonight.
taller
I will
because
kick you off.
Mike Iaconelli somehow has like a pro deal with the Vans high heels. Like he has Vans sneakers, but they're on a 9-inch fucking heel. All right, if anybody's seen him without those shoes, I'm going to tell you what, he's probably 2'5". I think Mike Iaconelli is actually 4 gnomes just in a bass jersey. They're just on top of each other, on top of their shoulders, doing the old Little Rascals routine. I think that's what it is.
Alex knows about that. Hey, Steven, you said you quit judging fish, and I want to ask you. I have 2 things. One later on is about setting up these tournaments, because that's got to be. I can't imagine what that's like. And we'll get to that later. Maybe not. I don't know. But this question is more important. You do not judge fish. Every single person in that tournament, 150, 170, 200 people in that tournament, they have your cell phone number. So if they have a problem, it can it can be anything. I shit my pants. I need to go home and change. Can I come back and fish? Whatever it is. I flip my kayak, blah, blah, blah. They have your cell phone number. How many text or calls do you get on average in a tournament with somebody that has a simple question or somebody that has a major problem?
Before the tournament or after or during the tournament?
Both. Before and during, because ain't no kayak angler reading a single rule y'all put out there. Like, we're not reading none of that shit.
He's got a new rule now for this, by the way.
We're clicking all the boxes and hitting submit and paying our entry fee. We're not reading any of that shit. But before and during the tournament, how many text messages, calls are you getting? And what's the stupidest one you've ever gotten? And what's the most serious one you've ever gotten?
I mean, it's a lot, and I'm not poor mouthing or trying to like, oh, woe is me, but it's a lot. Like it's so many. Like, I say I don't judge fish, but I do look at all the fish all day long. I'm scrolling through. I just don't accept or deny at all. But I am looking nonstop because I want to be able to tell that story whenever I do an update or we do awards. But it's a lot. Like, if I didn't have Daniel and another couple, 2 or 3 people that we alternate out, it's crazy. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. Stupidest. I mean, I don't necessarily think it was an actual phone call and a question, but Logan Martin, we had a guy catch about an 8.5-pound bass that had the tourney tag around it like a fat lady's garter.
So great. We handed these out at board check. And this guy thought that's what you're supposed to do with it.
And I don't, dude, it probably took him, that fish is dead. It took him 30 minutes to get that skin on him.
It was.
And then Lake Hartwell, Daniel will remember this. Lake Hartwell, We had a guy brand new. He got out of his boat. He had a big bullet, $100,000 boat. Went and bought brand new Hobie, whole 9 yards. He wanted to fish Hartwell Bassmaster. And this dude at like 9 a.m. had probably 95, 96 inches of fish. Every one of them, he had the tourney tag around the fish. So we had to disqualify him.
Oh,
and I'm on the phone with him. And of course, he's upset, but he knew it. He was like, man, I know, I'm sorry. This old boy
like, man, I'm
right
a fucking idiot.
He turns right back around. There it is. That's it. That's it. Look at that. Probably 5 pounds.
That was Logan. That was Logan Martin.
Yo,
that's like Roseanne Barr trying to go through a hula hoop. It just
that belly being pooched out is so great.
Every phenomenal. Egg in that female's belly got squeezed out.
I was telling my neighbor about that the other day, and then that same guy at Hartwell, after he got off the phone, he went back and stroked him again and had about 93 inches. No identifier.
Yeah.
What?
No identifier.
Yes!
Oh my God.
Yo, we got to get a hold of this guy and get him on the show. Like
he politely said, brother, I'm just going to go home.
Yep.
Day one, man caught 50 pounds in 10 fish. Had to go home.
Hey, you since you know Wyatt really good now.
Yeah.
Wyatt's local to me. He was fishing. This was 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. He was fishing a monthly tournament for one of our local trails, and he was out on Sharon Harris. He had like 102 plus inches. And this was like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. The TD and texted him and says, hey, man, I got to DQ all your fish. He had dyslexia'd the last two numbers, letters, numbers, digits on the identifier. Well, this motherfucker went out and caught another 101 inches from like 1 to 3.
Damn.
Did he?
So he got 102 inches disqualified and came in the next few hours, caught another 101 to do that. So
he's a quiet guy, but he carries a fucking heavy stick.
Yeah.
We
got a guy, Brandon Strock, in our club. He and I were fishing together in our classic, Daniel, when we first discovered the honey hole up north.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Up north?
There.
Up north, up there.
Over.
Okay.
And so
yonder ways.
So, on shit.
Yeah. And we were wrecking them good. I had like 98 or something. He had like 101. And he was like, man, I'm going to go check this. He goes and catches 100. So he comes back. I upgrade with him. He says, I'm going to go check this. He goes about our classic, we start on Friday at 3 p.m. and fish around the clock until Sunday, 3 p.m.
Holy
fish whatever you want to do, whatever you can. And it's 5 fish for the whole weekend in case you can't fish a lot. And so Brandon ends up catching like 4 100-inch stringers and a couple of 95s. It's
That's
just
fucking
like,
gnarly. Yeah.
You hate people like that. It's like he's got an 8-pack ab too,
I do.
Like, whatever, man.
Ain't none of us here got that.
Get out of here. Yeah.
He's got an 8-pack abs and a fucking 12-inch dong, and you're like, can we just get something wrong with him?
I've got a multiply. I got a scan code here. I'm just gonna hush.
What's going on?
I think the worst, most recent one, Steve, was so we had a really tight contention Georgia Bass Nation, and we run the Tennessee Bass Nation and the Georgia Bass Nation, which is the feeder system of Bassmaster. That's what gets anglers to fish in that championship, and with the classic and go across the stage. We've had a number of those anglers do it, and it was the Georgia Bass Nation Angler of the Year, which tight contention and everything. And there's one dude that's absolutely front runner for it. He goes out there and I think he catches 98 inches, and the next person's got like 95 inches. And the person with 98 inches, clear front runner for the Angler of the Year, had the wrong identifier. And
damn.
He sandbagged and submitted everything after.
I was fishing 50 yards from him. We didn't have cell signal. No cell signal. Because Daniel called me, and I tried to call him and say, Joe, what are you doing? Yeah. What it cost him big bass, cost him the tournament and AOY.
23. Yeah, it was like $2,300 that he lost out on because of that too. Cost him that, and
listen, I will upgrade.
It's a hard call.
Yeah,
hey,
I mean the rules are rules though.
Follow it.
Yeah.
I mean, wrong identifier. That's tough. Man.
Hey, listen, I had a guy come up to me and like I almost went Stano. Stano's my alter ego. Like I don't like confrontation. I don't have self-confidence, but Stano can come out. I don't like people being disrespected, and I don't like you trying to belittle me when you're being an idiot. A man come up to me.
Man, don't come to
the identifier. The identifier. Well, I'm a Yankees fan. I've been to New York. So anyway, this person, gosh damn, the identifier had an 8 in it.
Okay.
He had an S in it. Well, it's common sense that you see my timestamp. I have the identifier. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, I get it. And this is funny. If y'all ever meet Mark Cisneros, our camera guy's wife, Teresa is like a freaking female Kevin Hart. She's just so funny.
Oh, she's hilarious.
And so my wife and them are there, and this guy is carrying on. He said, well, it just doesn't. He's trying to be witty and wordy. And I just cut him off. I said, listen, man, just say what you need to say. I got a lot going on. I'm fixing to hand out, $40,000 here. I need to get my shit right. And so
it was like half a
he
suit,
says, right? No, I don't remember. But he says, the point of it is that I caught those fish and the identifier, that character's wrong. I said, well, so we got X amount of people and every one of them have that identifier right. Every one of them do. Then you know what the guy says? Well, 3 or 4 other times when this happened, they did this or this. So I was like, so you're sitting there telling me, you're a habitual non-reader. And I said, but in no country that I am aware of in the universe can you make an S an 8.
Oh, it's just a fucking one more line.
Oh yeah, come on, Steve. It was just one little line.
S and a 5. If somebody could be confused on an S and a 5, but look, the 8 and an S, there ain't. Come on, dude.
Well, Joseph's was a B and an 8, wasn't it? It was a B and an 8.
No, it wasn't even that. It was he put it was like an F and a 5 or some shit. it was that far. It was one digit way the freak far off.
Hey Daniel, I think the number was in the letter. Hey, don't let me forget. We got Clark's Hill coming up, April the 12th, Georgia Bass Nation.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a video now that I've got Canva and I know how to work it like a whiz. I'm going to do a tutorial on identifier codes. I'm gonna put Joseph in it. He loves it.
Absolutely.
Guess what the guy did? He spent 2 days last week on the wrong lake pre-fishing.
He's golden.
That guy's my spirit animal. Spirit animal. We need him on the
hammer, though. He's a hammer.
He is.
I want to talk to the guy who spent 2 days pre-fishing the wrong lake. That is amazing.
Hey, Steve-O, what's the one incident you've had as a TD in bass, not TVKA, not Georgia Bassmaster, but in the Bass National Series that has been the scariest for you? The one where you're like, holy shit, we got to go find somebody, or the thing that scared you the most?
That was Logan Martin, wasn't it?
Logan Martin was I was antsy, but I haven't had any.
Good.
Nope, haven't had any. No.
You haven't had one instance where a kayaker calls you and says, "Hey, dude, I'm flipped. I'm floating down the middle of the lake. Like,
all right,
come rescue me. Come rescue me, Steve-O."
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't like correct people, but you said we met at Santee Cooper. We met at Lake Murray.
That's
in
right.
The theater,
That first day was rough.
So Jay, I think
hold on, Steve.
I like to correct people, but it was Lake Murray.
Exactly. He's like, I don't like to correct people, and he did it. I fucking love it. It's that southern
That's why I didn't interject when he said it at the beginning. I was like, "Oh, he meant Lake Murray."
He's like, "I want to wait until an hour in, so he really looks like an asshole."
Yes, I got him.
Correct me. I do not like to be wrong. I don't speak unless I know I'm right, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Tell me so I can accept it and correct it. Don't let me look like a fool for the last hour and 4 minutes and 30 seconds, Steve-O. What the fuck, man?
Well, that's the only reason we came on here.
To make me look like a fool.
We heard y'all wrong.
I'll do that every week. I don't need y'all's help.
Yeah. So to your point, like Murray, 24. Marshall gives me a call. Yeah, Marshall gives me a call, and dude, he is.
Y'all saw the picture, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was amazing. He was like, Steve, and so I told him, I said, man, if you get somebody to come drag your stuff up, do it. I'm not going to disqualify somebody for safety like that. And Jesse Schwinneman from Georgia, he called. Derek Brundle called and said, man, he was in an Old Town Autopilot, which is a phenomenal kayak, but that type of motor will not get you out of trouble. And that's what people fail to realize. Yes, you may not flip in a kayak in windy or rough water, but you can't get out of the way of danger. You can't get out of the way of a barge. You can't get out of the way of another bass boat or a pleasure cruiser because you can't control your vessel. Daniel ran off and left me to die one time below Chickamauga Dam.
Absolutely, I did.
And so
he was like,
I hated him with everything. I have been pissed off at him before. I remember now. It was when I was going to die. I literally looked up and said, Lord, please take care of my family. Please take care of my family.
He kept calling me, and I kept pedaling because I kept looking back, and he was.
Well, I was trying to scream at him, but I just gotten a Hobie, and I didn't understand that skeg keeps you upright. So he and I are fishing below the dam, and it's a good day. And out of nowhere,
not this time,
storm.
by the way. Just letting you know.
And you know what? Guess what he and I did? Instead of staying at the bank, we try to cross the lake.
Solid.
Like idiots. So
great move.
There was 30 mile per hour gusts going up, and then you got the current going down. So I mean, it was literally perfect storm.
And I started doing a whirlpool, and I was leaning, like my feet were in the water, and I was leaning this way. And the only thing I did not do was drop that skeg. And AJ had told me what it did, and I just pulled that skeg out, and it uprighted. So but anyway, Daniel, he's in that native, that Titan.
I'm in a
12 and a
half.
half.
I'm in a Hobie now, but I was sitting there. I had every bit of that seat sucked up my ass to keep myself upright, sitting there pedaling. He kept saying, Daniel, I look back, he's still upright. I'm like, dude, you fall
he's
in.
All right.
We ain't doing this shit.
He's got his life jacket. He'll survive.
Yeah. I'll come get him if he falls in, but until then, you fend for your damn self right now. It was that scary.
But Schwinneman, Derek Brundle, he said, can I tow him? And I was like, yeah. So if you tow, then it's basically your day's over. Right. You just got mother shipped. But I'm not going to disqualify you. It's your day's over. And then Jake called me, and he couldn't do anything. So I left and went and picked him up and got him. We pulled his kayak up off the riprap and drove him a couple miles to get his truck or whatever. Yeah. Murray did scare me. It did scare me. I think that's the only time. Other than that, I mean, me and Lambert first took me out, tried to teach me how to frog fish about 10, 12 years ago on Gunnersville. Of course, we like, they put holes in a can for a reason. And we were doing a lot of that. And, I probably missed 80 fish that night. I mean, we had an absolute blast, and then we couldn't see where we were at, And so I'm sitting here clicking my keys, trying to hear my car wherever we're at. I had a Jackson big rig and a Lexus ES 300 car that's about this tall.
Big money.
And it was. I bought it off of Granny or something. She died or something like that at a produce stand. I got it cheap. So,
I'm sorry.
But anyway,
not his Granny. It's some other Granny.
It's some other Granny. This man's buying arugula and a fucking kayak at the same fucking store.
He swindled somebody's dead granny at the produce stand out there on I-40 in Tennessee.
She was alive. Yeah. She was alive when he met her.
I'm a hustler, baby.
I want you
Dude,
to
it's
know.
funny, Steve. It's funny you mentioned the keys. I've gotten plenty of a call where they're like, I know this is exactly where I'm at, but I think my keys are dead. And I'm like, why do you think your keys are dead? Like, what does that matter? And they're like, well, I'm clicking and I can't hear it. And then we eventually find them, and they're like fucking 7 miles away from their fucking car. And they're like, oh shit, I was in the wrong spot. I'm like, yeah, dipshit. Like, totally different fucking, like, we've had people skip whole fucking inlets. We're talking saltwater side when I was in the military. We're talking people like they try to push their kayaks like 5-6 miles offshore of Atlantic City, and then they come in and they're off of Ocean City, New Jersey, which is 2 fucking inlets away, and they're like, okay, and so we'll pick them up, and then they always give the, well, you gonna grab the kayak? And we're like, no. So there'll be like a thing posted of like, hey, there's like a Hobie PA-14 up on the beach in Ocean City, and I've been tempted to be like, man, after shift, do I run down and grab that motherfucker?
Yeah,
like,
you can never, your short ass can never load that on your Subaru.
I think I could if I got a step stool.
God.
I think if I had a step stool.
Car tops his Subaru.
I do. I car top a Old Town on my Subaru.
Yeah. But what Alex didn't explain real well to our guest and our new listeners is he wasn't a tournament director for a kayak fishing tournament.
No.
This was search and rescue for the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
So this, he was dealing with people that he didn't even know were out there until they called.
Their motto is first to drink, right?
First to drink, yeah, that usually works. Navy's first to drop. That's either trow or on the ground after sleeping.
Give something away. I think we hired somebody, or we were about to hire somebody at my company that was in the Coast Guard, and one of the vice presidents said that, yeah, she is a female. Said, yeah, she's in the Coast Guard. She probably likes to just drink, fight, and fuck. And
yeah.
Right.
I loved my junior years before I was married in the Coast Guard. They were fucking fun. That got brought up at work randomly. My boss is like, well, before you were married, how was your Coast Guard experience? Did you see the world? Did you? I was like, oh, yeah. I went to all these places. She goes, oh, my gosh, there's so many good museums. And I was like, there's fucking museums there. I didn't see no goddamn.
What?
I went to the fucking strip club, the beach, and the bar. I didn't see any fucking museums. So, oh my God, there's all these hikes and stuff. I ain't fucking hiking shit.
I was hiking from the boat to the bar and back.
Difference in the testosterone levels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. Actually, that's funny because I did just get done being underway, like 3 years ago, right? I got out 2 years ago.
Just got done.
But
it's been 2.5 years, Alex, since you got back and retired.
Did you retire? Or?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did 20 years. I retired.
So how long has this podcast been going on?
An hour and 11 minutes.
No, I mean like years.
April 11th, actually, while I'm in North Carolina, will be the 4-year anniversary of when I started it.
So who used to do it with you before Peckerhead?
Me. I just did it by myself.
I was on episode 9 as a guest. And when I came on, Alex did this podcast. It was like 45 minutes.
If that,
standard questions, 45 minutes, boom, boom, boom.
What did you do to get on?
He fucking annoyed me on Instagram.
It wasn't an annoyance. I'd sent him one message, and he's like, yeah. And this
on
was
Instagram, he was like, you got a podcast? I like podcasts. Put me on your podcast. I was like, you said it 3 times.
I'm pretty sure I told him, I was like, hey, if you ever need a shitty guest, I can fill in. And this would have been in June.
And be on the show.
Yeah. This would have been in June because I was initially
That's how entertaining y'all are right there. I'm watching my Yankees.
God.
Go Braves.
He's in
Braves.
Hold on, real quick.
Can the Braves win a game before
no,
the month
and then
of
also
April is
you can't
over?
say my Yankees. You live in fucking Tennessee.
I live in America, dumbass. I live in America.
Y'all know he's a Tennessee. He lives in Tennessee. He's an Alabama fan, a Packers fan, a Yankees fan. It makes
so he's just confused.
I would have thought he was a Dallas fan for football because he's just pulling for all the.
It's America.
You mean he's pulling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But to answer your question, I messaged him. Supposed to be on July 4th. I was at the beach for a family vacation. The internet sucked. I was like, hey, man, can we push it to, I think it was Monday. It was a couple days later. I came on. His 45-minute podcast went like 2.5 hours with me on. And then my first episode as the co-host was episode 12. And
but
so,
anyways, 4 years.
Yeah,
to answer the question, 4 years.
We have
Four long
put out
years.
a brand new episode every single week,
except for 1 week.
Except for once in 4 years.
Wow.
We put out an
Yeah.
episode,
Wow.
a new episode every single week. And this was with him. He was gone for like 3 months. He was gone for 9 months, and then he was gone for another like 2 or 3 month thing where it was just me. And I just show up and talk shit. And then it was all on me.
See, I feel like me and Steve-O have something in common. Like we created something, we ran something really well, and then we get minions to take care of it. That would be Sassy Dan and Paul. Like that's how it works. You have a figurehead and you have a personal assistant.
Well, what happened was
No, don't you put that evil on me. I will not ever minimize that man right there. That's my beautiful Sassy Dan.
I'm not minimizing. I'm not minimizing.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
Just defining roles. Somebody's got to be on top, and somebody's got to be.
He's probably saved my life several times too.
Oh,
He's
Except
got
for
the
the one
grip
time
of a
that he left
14-year-old.
One time in Oklahoma. Hey, I tried to save
Fuck
him.
Steve
Like,
that day.
hey, so I promised a Steve-O story. So we're in Oklahoma, 10 killer, and for the Bassmaster Classic last year. And one of Steve-O's big
I overserved
sayings,
myself.
He said, been around the world since I ain't fell since 79. He'll stumble, like this dude will stay upright no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's been around the world, ain't fell since 79. And
I got Barry Sanders ankles.
Yeah. So we went to Kane's Ballroom, and it was a fantastic show. It was the Yeti party out there. And we go up to this counter. We had a salad at this hotel because they didn't have nothing on the menu that looked good, which is probably when you're about to go drinking, that ain't the thing to pick.
Salad's not
salad?
the move.
Hell no.
We had a bit of whiskey there, and we went to Kane's Ballroom. We get there, and I'm looking. They got Eagle Rare for $5.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm like, I grabbed me one, I grabbed Steve-O one, and I made
My birthday tomorrow is the next day.
Next day, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get Steve-O some Eagle Rare, and then Dylan Lowry was there, and I made a mistake of telling that dumb son bitch that Eagle Rare was $5 because he went over there and started buying every bit of it, and so I give Steve-O that, I get it, they ran out of that, I started drinking Jack, and people bringing everything to us, and then I see Steve-O, he's got an Elysian Space Dust in one hand, and he's got, I'm pretty sure it's Patron in the other.
Oh, that's
that's the only way that I've seen him in Kane's Ballroom. Fantastic, like historical, like built Tulsa type of thing. There's evidently a back
Hank
doctor.
Senior, Ernest Tubb, all of us. All us good singers have been in there.
He said all of us. He said
and so like fantastic show, but that it shuts down at like freaking 11 o'clock. And so they're like, hey, everybody get the fuck out. And so we get out, and we got a bunch of the crew there, some of the PKAs and everything else that you might know. And they ordered an Uber XL, and which holds 8 people. I started counting. I'm like, Steve-O's fucked up. We're going back to the hotel room. There's no way me and him are fitting in this sumbitch.
It was altitude probably what got me.
Yeah, it was altitude in Knox, up there in Tulsa, but. So
known for its high altitude.
So Steve-O's gone. He's been messed up, but he's gone. And I'll tell you, this is a funny, unedited version. But there was a homeless woman when we got there. Steve-O gave this lady some money, and then
I'm a gentleman.
He was a gentleman, sober gentleman. Gave her some money.
Was she homeless?
I'm telling you,
here's the thing, Kane's Ballroom. I don't know how y'all are with music, but like Kane's Ballroom is historic. Like it's amazing.
Historic.
And literally, you could kick a baseball, and it's shantytown right next to it. It's sad. It sucks.
Yeah, it is. And Kane's Ballroom's so historic that Steve-O had to piss on it. And Steve-O, like this somebody sitting there swaying. He's up front. We're in the front of the damn building. I called an Uber, and I'm like, please God, we'll get there. And he's there pissing. He pisses right in the front of Kane's Ballroom and kind of tucked in. Well, homeless lady came back around, and somebody handed her some food from Kane's ballroom, and she goes over there and drops down like sitting on her heels right over Steve-O's piss puddle. She didn't get to see nothing, but I was there. Oh God, we need to get the fuck out of here. And so that's
radiant heat. That's radiant
heat. Like radiant heat. I don't know how she didn't smell herself. I don't know. Anyways, Uber pulls up, and this dude, his name was, oh my God, I can't remember. I forgot his name.
Willis? Was it Willis?
It wasn't Willis.
Steve, you don't remember. You don't remember.
It wasn't Kramus either. But
Kramus or Haywood.
We're going to call this dude Mahmoud because he was in decked out full Pakistani dress.
Oh, Siddiqui. I got you. Yeah, go ahead.
God, Steve-O, stop.
So I opened the back door for Steve-O to get in. And I said, hey, sit right here. I'm going to go to the other side. He's like, nope, I'm a grown, independent woman, and I'm going to go to the other side. And he ends up heads and shoulders in one part of the floorboard, knees in the freaking other. I'm 5'9", dude. Steve-O, he's 6'2", 6'3", whatever.
Almost 6'3", yeah.
Almost 6'3". So I'm having to pull his ass up to get him sat up in the seat. I finally do it, and he finally shoves over. I told him, I was like, dude, I'm going to go to the other side. He's like, nope, I'm a strong, independent woman. So he ends up pulling him. He gets over there. And then we start rolling, and we're literally 3 minutes from the hotel. We walked down, and I said, hey, Mahmoud, I said, dude, I said, this man, he's drunk. I'm drunk. I said, but he's never thrown up. It's like, I know you're worried because he had wide eyes and shit. Like, he was bad.
Yeah.
Did he start?
My mom brought me a trash can when I was a kid, and I smacked her. I don't throw up.
You don't. I said, dude, you don't throw up. So we pull up to the hotel, and I'm like, he's about to get out. So I fucking run over there. I'm like, I'm not going to let my man fall. And all of a sudden, like, he gets out right at the curb. Mahmoud takes off, and Steve-O goes to fall. I grab his hand, and I can't keep him up, and he hits the ground.
Oh, you see the difference in these hands right here? This is one he grabbed. That's all I can do with it now. That's all
I can't make threes on mine either. That's the best three I can make.
So one of the things that, like, there's people with strength that are, maybe evidently ginger strength is comparable to special needs strength, right. Allegedly. Or drunk
according
strength.
To Josh Stewart, it is. According to Josh
Stewart said ginger strength, strongest strength. But I try to keep him up, and he fell. And I said, bud, you can't say that you ain't fell since 79. He's gone. He doesn't hear this shit. So I get him up.
I don't remember anything past 9 o'clock.
Literally. This is 11 o'clock.
Almost not even 2 o'clock in the morning. It's early.
No, well, guys, see, we got up that morning in Tahlequah, ate breakfast, drove all the way to Tulsa, worked the expo, did the kayak awards, went to our hotel bar. We were going to have a good steak dinner because the classic is like the end of our season. Yeah, high altitude, and I probably was roofied, and so he and I are going to sit down and have a good steak, and so we sit there for like an hour and a half. They give us salad. They give us 3 blades of grass with like 1 ounce of steak and 2 whiskeys, and so we're like, we got to go. So Guillermo and them were at the Yeti party, and we go in, and had we have known, we walked in and they were throwing like hundreds of pounds of barbecue away.
Oh, it was.
We could have ate there. None of this would have happened.
With Eagle Red.
What happens if we find out that it was actually the tournament director of Hobie BOS actually spiked your drink? Because this is the way that they were going to stay on top of the tournament scene.
AJ's not a mean man. He couldn't do that.
Funny as that would be.
He's given me a couch to sleep on, so he would do it. So yeah, but Daniel, the story gets even better. The next morning is what's amazing.
All right, go Dan. We got to hear it. If it gets better, this is awesome.
Yeah. So I pick him up.
We see Dave Mercer. We see Dave Mercer too.
Hey, Mercer.
And his car is going backwards, and he's walking forwards.
Put it in drive, and he's as gone as Steve-O.
This is the same night, or is this
same
the same second?
Same night. And
Dave Mercer is Keith Whitley. He's that bad.
He's Steve-O'd at this point. We'll
he's
just call
possum,
it that.
He's possumed out.
He gets out of Jones. It keeps going. So he, shuffles up there, gets it. And so I'm having to lift Steve-O up. And then like this Toyota sponsor guy's got a Toyota shirt there for the class. He's like, oh, that shit ain't gonna work. So he grabs the other side of Steve. And we start walking in, and then the front desk person said, Hey, I heard that Mr. Owens had a fall. And I start chuckling mid-stride because he ain't fell since 79. We get on the elevator.
Way around the world, and I ain't fell since 79.
I've heard that countless times, and it's just cracking up in my head. So that we get on the elevator, Toyota dude's like, see ya, you're on the elevator. So I shoulder him, 50 yards to our room, and Steve-O gets on the bed, and I hook up his CPAP for him.
He's a good man.
Shoes off.
You hooked him up to the CPAP? Were you sleeping in the same room?
Two-bed hotel room.
So you had to hook him up if you wanted to get any sleep.
I wanted to survive. I got a CPAP too, so I knew. And so
all of our road buddies say we look like we were in an ER room. Yeah.
When you walk in, it's like we share room everywhere. So I damn man, I take his shoes off, hook the CPAP up, and everything else. And so all of a sudden, I start hearing he's like, I'm gonna go pee, and he got up, took everything off, went to the bathroom, came back, and then he goes to get in the bed, and this sumbitch runs face first into the bed, and his hat, he still had his hat on. I didn't take it off of him, and it skint his forehead.
Damn, you took his shoes off but left his hat on?
I don't know what happened there, but I'm gonna show you.
Oh,
I gotta show you. We got pictures, absolutely, because this is a fun story because it's just so great.
That's the hat right there. I've still got skull. I've still got skull on that hat right there.
You got skin on that one, baby.
Yeah.
So he face plants.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That your hat did that? Holy shit!
So he does that, and then he's just like, he ain't putting a CPAP on nothing. He's laying half on the bed, half off. And I got a picture of him. I wish I'd share it, but anyways, he's sitting there, and all of a sudden I start hearing on the damn door. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go up there. It's the night manager with hotel
Three
security
Bears
and two other people. It's like, we heard that Mr. Owens had a fall, and I'm like, motherfucker, I don't need this shit right now. He said,
I've never been so respected, and I never got to hear it, Mr. Owens.
Yeah, Mr. Owens, it's like I'm hearing it, and it's funny. And he's like, we heard Mr. Owens had a fall. Is he okay? It's like, I just literally got him to bed, and he's there. It's like, yes, he fell. Said, I half held him up. He's very drunk. We're sorry, because they're worried about liability, 100% liability. Yeah. And then
I got contractor's insurance. Good grief, man. Relax.
And he says, well, I was former, Oklahoma Highway State Patrol. And I was like, son of a bitch. Yeah. He's like, I just want to make sure he's okay. This is kind of a thing that he fell in our parking lot. And he's like, can I make sure Steve's okay? I said, come on in, buddy. Let's go look at him. He said,
he's got his pants off.
He said, no, he's got Bassmaster vests on, pants. I wasn't taking his pants off because this dumb son of a bitch said, I'm going to free ball on the Bassmaster plane as it stays, by the way. So he says, I can see Mr. Owens there in the mirror. He said, can you get him to wave at me? I was like, oh shit, I can make him do that. I said, hey, Steve-O, wave at me. You see that shit just barely in the mirror. He's like, all right, cool. I can see he's attentive. He's good. He said, we got to fill out a statement. I was like, oh, God.
Oh, my God. You
asked
drunk
a lot.
At this point still, too.
Yeah. I'm drunk. Yeah, I'm good.
And I do remember this. This is the only thing I remember. Joseph, y'all remember Joseph Sanderson? He's the one that bought me my last drink, him and Jackson Orr. They probably roofied me. Jackson or roofied me.
Jackson was like 19.
Yep. So the state trooper said, I got this in hand, man. He said, I'm going to write out the statement exactly as you said it. He said, but I need him to sign it. And I was like, motherfucker. I said, give me that pen, give me that clipboard. So I went over there and said, hey, Steve. I like hit him on his hip. I said, I need you to sign raw. I put that pen in that hand. That motherfucker signed raw. I handed it back to him. He said, all right, we're going to check on him in the morning. And Steve-O refused to put the CPAP mask on. I wake up, and then all of a sudden, I said, Steve-O never thrown up before. This is embarrassing to him, but he sat up at the edge of that bed and just started throwing up. I grabbed a can, threw it under him, and I cleaned up everything. And then he's sitting there in that bed, wouldn't put the CPAP on, just snoring. And this is, I think at this point, it might be like 1 a.m. or whatever. So finally, it's like I moved into where he wasn't snoring as much. I went to bed, and I woke up. All of a sudden, I woke up to the hotel room phone ringing.
That's when I woke up too.
And if y'all
you were on
have
the phone
not,
with Lambert. You were on the phone with Lambert, you prick.
No, I wasn't then.
Oh
no, not then. Yeah. Anyway, so the hotel room phone rings, and if you ain't heard a hotel room in 10, 15 damn years, that shit's loud. So it goes off, and I pick it up and said, hey, this is the front desk. We're just checking on Mr. Steve Owens after his fall. I start cackling, and I said, he's fine. It's like, he's just now waking up. I said, we're good to go. He said, well, he's supposed to drop off a report. I said, I gave that to the night manager. He signed it and everything else. And I hang up, and Steve goes, huh. He goes, who's that? I said, I got documented proof that your ass is spelled since 79. And he goes, what? So I proceed to tell him the whole story. I'll give you this grace that Steve-O has told this story to his wife 100 times, and he fell to 79. He called her up first thing and said, babe, it's happened. He said, I fell since 79. Then I drove it was a 12-hour drive from Oklahoma. He sat laid up in that seat the whole way home. 2 hours in, he said, Daniel, I don't feel good. I'll look over. He's had a half an ounce of water. I said, son, bitch, you need to drink some water. But it took us about 14 hours to drive home. I drove the whole damn way home with him hung over, beating in the seat the whole time. It was pretty bad.
It was so what got me here was what was hilarious to me in retrospect. Number one, it's probably the most ashamed I've ever been of myself. I put my best bud pal in this position to have to take care of me in Oklahoma. And literally when I fell, I could have cracked my head. Yeah. And I could have cracked my head.
The CPAP's got a damn hook on it like a fishing rod coming.
He got me that.
I told him to buy it.
Yeah. And so I wake up and he's on the phone with the hotel or Lambert at this point. And I was like,
hotel. I texted Lambert. That's all I did.
Yeah. And so I wake up and I look and I'm like, huh. I said, we had a pretty good time, didn't we? And you said, yeah.
Oh, God.
I said, well, heck. I said, it wasn't too bad. I said, I got my CPAP on. And you said, I did that for you. And I was like, oh. And I looked and I was like, well, my socks and shoes are in the floor. I did that. He said, no, I did that for you too. I was like, oh. And I was like, Daniel, I don't remember getting here. And he told me the story. And I was like, oh, no.
It happens. What are you going to do? It happens sometimes.
Hey, but see, that's why you have a good friend like that. Because could you imagine?
I returned the favor. Well, we went to this last one here in Fort Worth. And so we go, Guillermo, it's my birthday. Sassy. So my man Daniel can drink, and so he loves a bourbon. And of course, I tell him, I said, look, I'm never going to put him in that position again. We're just going to shut it down. And so we're having a good time. Mark's staying with us at Lake Fork. And so we get to Fort Worth, we do our thing, and it's my birthday. So we're just going to have a chill, relaxing evening. Guillermo's going to cook. And I'll be flat honest with you. Daniel's probably cooked absolutely the best 2 steaks I've ever had in my life. And you could go to freaking Kmart and buy a steak and he'll make it taste good. So him and Guillermo are cooking for us, and Guillermo can cook. Scotch is there. And I told Daniel, I said, you carry on. The Canadians are there. They brought this expensive whiskey, and me and Daniel put the Dusty Rhodes elbow on it, man. We drank their whiskey. So I saw Daniel's having a good time. So I cut back, make sure we get back to the hotel. So we get back to the hotel. And I said, hey, let's walk down to the bar, because we always get to stay where all the pros do. And so we go to the Omni and we go to the bar. My buddy Shane, that runs the Bill Dance Signature Lakes that we started working with, which is where you get these trophies back there from. He was in there. So we're hanging out with him, Fletcher Shy Rock, and some others. And so we're having a pretty good time, still low key. With Daniel, we get a couple more drinks. And so I order a Weller. I love Weller. So does he.
Oh, God.
And I said, give me a Weller and a water. 2 Wellers and a water. I wanted to give him a Weller and a water because he had been drinking and I hadn't drank much. Well, guess what they do? They give us a Weller and I watch him pour water in it.
Oh, no.
I was fire hot. It's the 3rd time it's happened to us on the road. People do that.
In a classic, too. Twice.
Every one of them's a classic. Yep.
So y'all do have some little tiffs in here that we're bringing out on Bass and Brews about some, makes you angry.
Water conservationists for sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So if
Steve-O takes one sip, sets it down. It's like, they fucked that up.
I say they messed. I'm not going to drink it. It's insulting to me. It's not good. It's just like I'm not going to bite into a dead cat's butt if it tastes bad. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care what you pay for it. Don't do it. And so we're hanging out, and so Daniel's
I'm fading.
So he's got my backpack on, standing like a little 3rd grader in a bar with my backpack on. And he grabs that watered down Wellers and just chugs it and says, I'm going to go to the room. I said, you good? He said, I'm good. So he goes to the room. So I stay down there. So we're friendly with one of the guys that was in the top 3 at the Classic. And so I go over to his table and we're talking, and my low tone hearing from working in chemical plants is bad. So I'm leaning in and this guy kind of talks like this. So I'm listening, and there's an internet celebrity that gets to jaw jacking
from Alabama.
And he jumps over me.
You were there,
and this dude, you've seen it. I'm in the videos.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the videos, son.
Yeah,
I've got so many calls because, again, I don't like confrontation, but I will respectfully tell you about yourself, and that's what they thought happened. They thought me and that old boy had went around. And I was a peacemaker. I went to hold him back, and the other boy jumped over, and this guy grabbed the perpetrator and did him wrong. He did him wrong. He really wasn't bad. He wasn't out of line for everything that he is online. He was not out of line. And that dude hurt him. He grabbed him, and so I was like, man, I can't let this happen. I don't like the guy, but this ain't right. And so I went to get him, and he broke loose, and so he's charging, and I'm holding him, and I was like, dude, you're too damn old for this. I said, you got kids back home. You need to quit. You need to just quit. And he was like, well, he's doing this and this. And here come the cops. And I was like, oh, crap, So I did the old incognito and got out of the way and went back over there. And yeah, it was, man.
Mr. Owen said, fuck that shit.
Yeah. And so, son that's up there, he grabs him 2 to-go pizzas about 10 minutes later. He's got his tequila and his pizzas, and he goes, I'll see you boys later. And the whole bar just erupts, and he ended up finishing very, very, very well in a tournament. But it's if you want to have a good time at the Classic, just find out where the Premier Hotel is. And because all those dudes are cool, man. They're most all of them are cool, but it's just, that's the good time.
I didn't know that was Steve-O that started the whole.
No, that's Mr. Owens.
He didn't instigate it. Mr. Owens was there.
Yeah, he was in the middle of it. That's funny.
Yep.
He had his faculties that time.
You said Applebee's?
Yeah. Had his faculties there.
Oh, faculties.
He was at Applebee's. He said Premier Hotel. And
ain't nobody go to Applebee's no more. Come on now.
No,
if they got an Applebee's at the Classic, that is the premier place to go meet up.
Be 20 boats in the parking lot.
That's when you're fishing in Phoenix City, Alabama.
Oh yeah.
The Applebee's.
Phoenix City, Alabama.
Yeah. That's wild. See, that's the funny part. So I went to the Classic in Knoxville, and then we went to the one.
We were there too.
There's another.
So I went with my son to Knoxville, and then I went to what was the one after Knoxville, or what was the one before? Damn,
Anderson.
Or was Hartwell?
Yeah, Anderson.
Hartwell.
So Hartwell, the first one I went to, it was in South Carolina. I'm in the Raleigh area. And so I wanted to take my son so we could go do it. But also, I have been doing the podcast for like a year and a half at this point. So I wanted to go see all the people that were going to be there, mainly from the kayak side and vendors that I had met. So I took my son. So I didn't go out or do anything. When people were going out, we were going back to the campsite. But that first night we were there was when the tornadoes came through Knoxville, and we were camping at a campsite. There was a tornado 10 miles from us, and my son and I were not sleeping real good. It's like 12 o'clock in the morning. The wind's blowing, lightning's cracking. He looks over at me in the tent and he goes, "Daddy, are we going to blow away?" I said, "Son, I hope not, because if we do, we got problems." But that's the thing, to go to that point, and kind of a little side tangent here. Like when you go to the Classic, I played college football, and so you got these NFL players.
No, he didn't.
You got NBA.
No, he didn't.
Yes, I did.
He was a punter.
Supposedly.
He was a third-string punter. Stop saying that you played college football.
Alex didn't even graduate high school. He had to go get his GED.
Paul, we looked it up. We did a whole episode on Paul's failure of a fucking college football career.
I know.
He was a walk-on third-string punter. It's a 42 average because they only let him punt fucking once. But he talks about how he was the star athlete.
No, I never said.
How the hell are you changing your names here? You got dead cat butt now.
What?
How did you do that?
That must be AI. That's weird.
How do you do that? I was going to change his to Rudy.
We'll
call him Rudy. Rudy Rudiger.
We're administrative. No, do not put that on me either. Fucking Ricky Bobby, Rudy Ruger. Damn. Anyway, but when you go to the Bassmaster Classic, you have an opportunity to sit and talk and meet professional anglers in this industry. You don't have that opportunity in any other professional sport.
You really don't. Cool.
It's pretty cool. This is how we roll. Well, Steve-O, hey, when you're setting up these tournaments, and give us kind of the quick rundown to this, because you're setting up tournaments with municipalities and chambers of commerce in those areas. How the fuck do you do that shit? Because it seems to me like that's probably the hardest job to do. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, there's so many moving parts to it. Do you just drink yourself, to bed every night when you're dealing with this shit? Like, how do you figure out what lakes to go to? Are you taking in, God, if I pick this lake, the anglers are gonna be mad at me? Like, how do you get to that point?
What drives me is, the not necessarily fear, but the concern of letting people down. That kind of motivates me, because what we're doing, I mean, man, we're living the dream. I'm not sitting here, trying to prepare a 5-course meal. I'm not under pressure to do such and such. I get to put on stuff for people to go have fun. And so that's the origination of Sassy Dan.
That's the Sassy Dan picture.
That looks like Burt Reynolds spread out in a Playboy magazine.
Oh my God. Look, if y'all are listening, go to YouTube and watch it 1 hour and 42 seconds or 42 minutes and 30 seconds. And you'll see the original Sassy Dan. My man was putting this on his Tinder page right away. He was like, fuck yeah, I put that on Tinder.
He said, look at that 14-ounce bass, old son.
14 ounce.
That's the origin of Sassy Dan right there.
That was it.
Look, he had the pose and everything.
I can't.
That's it. There's a bunch of them, but that was it.
Oh man!
And so
Dan,
I broke
did you
that
steal
home,
that
and my
life
wife
jacket
said,
from your kid?
That'll make you wet, won't it?
Dude, that life jacket was about 2 sizes too small. That shit wasn't gonna hold you.
It shifted over. It was good. It's a hybrid. It'll work.
It's a hybrid.
That is a small child's fucking PFD on backwards. I'm telling you, it's the worst.
That made me dizzy. Oh man!
Remember, safety is the #1 priority for bass kayak.
Kayaker asphyxiates bobbing up and down on Lake Chickamauga. Life jacket chokes him.
the article comes out and the Coast Guard says, yes, Sassy Dan perished because his life vest was too small and on backwards.
They're like, did he drown?
Family sues Mustang for fabric sawing his head off.
I'm telling you. Was that motherfucker on sale or something?
It was his first tournament. He needed a PFD, so he grabbed the.
They didn't have it in men's sizes, so
it looks like a PFD for an American Girl doll. Like it is.
Well, it actually has cups in it. If you're lactating, it fills that pouch up, and then you just nurse your child.
That's one of those life jackets that they have at the boat ramp, where they hang them up at the boat ramp to make sure everybody has one.
He stole it.
Grabbed it.
You would have been better off. You would have been better off with that orange motherfucker that you like put over your head with the thing on the straps. You would have been better off.
Dude, with that. Ben Meredith shows up to a KBF. We had like 178. It was the one that Lambert got in all that bull crap, over that duplicate fish that time. It was incidental, but here's a lesson for you kids. PKAs, they'll catch a 14-incher and throw it away. I could probably write down on a piece of paper off the top of my head $25,000 that they lost by throwing a little fish over. So, but anyway, Ben Meredith calls us one morning and says, "Man, I left my life jacket at home." He lives in Murfreesboro. We're in Gunnersville. And I was like, "Man, I don't have an extra." So we're calling around, and he pulls into a gas station and buys one of those orange ones you're talking about, the ones that you hated life because your dad put you in it. Yep. He had to fish in it all day long in August in Alabama. Yeah, but to answer your question, the whole tournament thing is I kind of how I got. I'll just be honest. If I'm good at this, how I got good at this was fantasy football. So for 10, 12 years, I ran keeper leagues where we did a fake budget, the whole 9 yards. And I would run anywhere from 8 to 12 leagues a year. And I mean, I've won a lot of money. Like I wouldn't have to work several years if I didn't want to. I won a lot of money off fantasy football, but that
your
just
wife
taught
doesn't know
me
about that money though, right?
For real. and so, she worked night shift at the nuclear plant. We used to have the best draft parties at my house. Yeah. We'd have 3 or 4 drafts in a day. I did a Jimmy Superfly snooker off my bar one night. Lambert's got it on video. This is probably 15 years ago. Oh, it's crazy. But anyway, that just, I don't know. That just taught me attention to detail, I think. And then, of course, my jobs, I've always been a reactor operator, so you got to pay attention to stuff. But I kind of just talk to y'all and look at, essentially like, Fulton County Stadium and then Fenway, Wrigley. I look at those. That's what our lakes are to us. To your point, we don't get to meet the superstars in NFL or NBA like we do in fishing. In bass boats, it doesn't matter. You could put a bass boat in a wash tub, a tournament in a wash tub, and people will show up because their culture has been here for 75 years. Mm-hmm. We can't. If you don't put a high dollar tournament on a bucket list lake where, y'all can come and you know good and well, I might not do great in this, but I'm still going to come out here and try to catch an 8-pounder on Seminole. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're going to go and experience it. The one thing that does get kind of aggravating, and I understand because you're getting rid of them big head bends out of your wallet, but I don't care. If I'm going to fish a tournament, I don't care if I've never fished it. I'm going for the experience. Me and Daniel have been, and even Lambert, Terry Golden, and Cord Dyer and Marshall, we've been all over this freaking country having a blast.
Halfway around the world.
That's it. Oh, that's it. And then Daniel pushed me down and it broke my streak. But or Jackson roofied me. Yeah.
It was Jackson, the 19-year-old.
To your point, Steve.
But that scheduling is very difficult because like if I'm talking to you, like I literally I have one more tournament and I have 2026 booked already.
Damn. That's awesome.
Last year, it was November, I was begging people to call but when the election, I'm not, apolitical or anything. I'm apolitical probably, but as soon as the election was done, no matter who won, people started booking things.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're so spread out now. But now we have next year. I don't care to share it. Pretty certain it's going to be Seminole. And then we got the championship here in Tennessee. And then we've got Caddo Bistino. We got Santee Cooper. We got Wolf and Fox. We got Susquehanna. And then we're going out west, probably Clear Lake, and all of those are booked. But
that's
one
a good
or
ass
two
schedule right there. But
I mean, it's just, yeah.
QC
and so
had a tournament on
You
Santee
can meet
this
Steve-O again at Santee.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah, you see me again.
Yeah, well, to the point though that Steve-O was making, I go to the national tournaments that are close. Santee, Murray, Norman. I'm going to go to those because they're close. Even though, Steve-O, I would implore you to figure out how to try to have a kayak tournament on Falls, Jordan, and Harris here.
Oh, I want to go to Sharon Harris. I want to go there so bad.
We just had a tournament there last weekend. It was not good. I'm just going to tell you, you gotta hit it right. It's got to be pure spawn, or it's got to be in the fall.
That MLS, that first year of MLS,
the spawn. The
Shut up, Dan. You're from fucking Tennessee. You know what I'm saying.
When they're spooging, they're spawning. They're spawning.
Yeah, they don't spoon, they're spawn.
They're spawning. But I go to these national tournaments because, like, I want to go fish good, and maybe I have a chance at winning because I'm competitive. But I want to go out there just to meet people, meet the folks that have been on the podcast, and meet the people I've met on social media. Like, for me, it's the experience to go meet and hang out with people that are social media friends. And so that's why I'll go pay that $250 or whatever it is to go, is because I want that experience of it. And if that's on Santee in April, late March, shit, Bo, I got a chance of catching a 10-pounder on Santee. Anybody that goes to Santee this time of year has a chance of catching 100+ inches. Queen City just went out there this past weekend and absolutely fucking wrecked them.
But
Corey Racer had a good big bass out there. That's one of our moves.
They wrecked them. That's the hard part too, was like you're trying to get the lakes at the right time, and Santee can be going great. You have a cold front push through.
The cold front hit through that spawn.
Cold front during the spawn.
The cold front during the spawn when I don't point the ball.
He points with his finger when he reads. Let him talk.
Easy now. Easy. There's only one guy here that had to graduate high school with a GED, and it was not me.
That was me, but I don't need my finger to read.
Steve-O, I'm going to tickle the shit out of you next time. When we go to Santee next time, I'm tickling
that's
you.
A threat.
Paul's trying to get up in that hotel room.
Hey,
hurt knuckle again. He's got that new Astroglide he's working on.
We'll meet you on the lobby.
That new Astroglide, he's saying, we're gonna bring it down.
Listen, Mr.
We're gonna have a lobby. Owens. We're gonna have a lobby altercation with Steve-O 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but it's just gonna be you slipping and sliding on an Astroglide slicked up floor, and you just sliding across like a beach seal.
Listen, hey, you need to get a bottle. You need to get a bottle in the cardboard of Astroglide and take it to Ike and get him to autograph it.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Hey, he will love it.
Mr. Owens, if you can get a large cutout of Paul with a big bottle of Astroglide, how do we get that on one of the live streams? Like at the weigh-in, how do we make that happen?
In the background, like he's got Wyatt Hammond holding up the Bassmaster Kayak Championship trophy, and I'm in the background in a cutout holding up a bottle of Astroglide.
He's just looking like this.
You can do it during the registration. You can do it during registration because I don't mind getting in trouble. We can do it during registration.
I can tell.
I've got graphic artist friends. We can get Wolf of Walmart right now to take this picture of Paul and somehow mash that with a bottle of Astroglide, and then this man right here off to the side of it. Right, we can make it all happen.
Corporate sponsors.
Boom, that's it.
Non-endemic. I might be the reason
yeah.
that Astroglide becomes the next big non-endemic sponsor for Bassmaster.
Bass and Brews might be the reason KVD comes back to fish for the slippery, the slippery Red Rocket Astroglide sponsored team.
Hey, if y'all need a hot dog, smoked sausage, red hot, sponsorship, I've got an in with Bright Leaf Sausage down here in North Carolina. The best damn hot dogs you'll ever eat.
We'll find out next week. We'll find out next week. I get to try them next week.
Hey, buddy. Hey, we used to growing up where we used to fight roosters and stuff like that. But here on the back road going from Chattanooga to Marion County was Charlie's Bologna. Okay. Charlie's Bologna. They made hot franks. Oh my gosh. It's like, it's probably 75. What you said. I want to try.
So Alex is coming next weekend. We're going to be here. And Bright Leaf Sausage has been around for 80, 90 years. They're Eastern North Carolina.
How far are y'all from Lake Murray?
So Alex lives in New Jersey. So
I'm outside of Philadelphia, so I'm quite a bit far.
These sausages, how are they in relation to Murray?
Well, the first day of Murray, they're 100,000 times better. I really don't know how to answer that question because I'm not sure how to correlate.
I'll just be blunt. In July, I'm coming to Lake Murray for my nephew's graduation.
And you're looking for a wiener.
How far away are those sausages? Yeah, where can I get that wiener?
He only wants the red wiener, Paul.
I've got your mind out of the gutter, boys.
Red Rockets.
I have your Red Rockets, baby.
KVD just stuffing a whole bag of them in.
I'll talk to Justin at Bright Leaf and we'll see if we can work that out. But
are you saying Bright Leaf?
Yeah.
Bright Leaf.
Please spell that slowly.
BRIGHT space LEA. Yeah, Bright Leaf.
Spell that for
LEA. Bright Leaf. Okay.
Dan, shut the fuck up.
I thought you were saying bright light.
No, Bright Leaf.
I said Bright Leaf. Like Bright Leaf.
Yes, Bright Leaf.
It is.
So
it's
Bright
like
Leaf.
Gremlins.
Bright Leaf.
How do you spell it? Bright Leah.
Bright Leaf. Bright Leaf is the tobacco like their original tobacco.
It's like a yuppie like a yuppie from a Hampton naming his first daughter Bright Leaf.
Yeah.
Do I sound like I'm from Hampton?
Ella.
BRIGHT LEAL.
Can't with him tonight.
God.
Oh shit.
Anyway, Alex is coming. We're gonna have Bright Leaf bologna.
I didn't get a GED.
Smoked sausages.
Right.
I didn't because I graduated from high school like a normal motherfucker.
A North Carolina college fucking graduation is the same as getting a GED in Washington State, obviously.
Hey, there was 13 on the stage.
Hold on. Hey guys.
What happened?
I asked him to spell it. Look. Bright Leaf. I was right. Bright Leaf.
Yeah.
You said Bright Leaf.
Bright Leaf.
You left the F out when I asked you to spell it.
I have said fuck at least 30 times in this episode. The F is not silent. It ain't silent.
Hey, Steve-O, they're not like us.
Y'all too much. Wow. Hey, Alex, we're going 3 hours tonight, buddy. You need to go get your
guess
Red
what?
Bull.
Hey, everybody, it's been a great one.
Oh, real quick before we get done. Real quick. Steve-O, I'm serious. We need to figure out how to get a national trail to Falls, Jordan, and Harris. You can't get 200 boats on Falls and Jordan and Harris, but
you can get a red wiener.
But yeah, we can feed them Bright Leaf all weekend long and barbecue,
red wieners
delicious barbecue. We can do all that, but please, if we can get a national tournament down here in those three lakes somehow, some way, man, and get it the right time of the year.
It's too much. His budget is too much. It's too much.
He says, "Hey, we're in an amusement park pond. Can you come up here?"
Exactly.
They just gave the show over to us.
Fuck him. Fuck Alex, little short bitch. All right, Alex. Let's go. Hey, Alex, there's one question that they need to. The first
Oh,
one,
are we doing that with
guys,
2 people? I hate doing it with 2 people.
I know, but there's one question that one person has to earmuff.
No, they're not going to do it. That's why it doesn't work with 2 people.
You know what? Fuck you, bitch.
That was the wrong one. My bad.
It's Tom.
Boys and girls, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go today. Woo! It only takes one.
All right, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to do the
Steve-O, do you have to go pee?
Oh, my God, stop.
No.
Oh, okay,
No.
you said you were
I
doing
pee like
something.
1 time a day. Well, he said you need to earmuff and not listen.
No,
Oh,
I
no,
got a
not
way
yet,
to work
not
around
yet.
that. I got a way to work around
we'll
that.
do
What
that.
we're going to do is the patent
Gotcha.
pending Bass and Bruce shotgun round. We're going to ask you a set of rapid fire questions. We don't need a whole long drawn out explanation. We just need
Yes
you to
or
answer
no
the
or
question.
Answer, yeah.
Right.
So,
and here's how
Daniel,
we're
they're
gonna do it.
trying to rush us out of here. They're trying to
No,
rush
we're
us out.
not. No, it's a shotgun round, Steve-O. God, fuck, man.
All right.
Listen.
So here's how we're going to do it. Instead of doing the earmuffs thing, you guys are just going to get different questions. We're just going to split it between the 2 of them because it doesn't work when we do the earmuffs.
Earmuff question.
No, it doesn't work. Oh, you're talking
Yes,
about
it
the last
does.
one. The last one. Sure. Whatever.
No. The other, the one that I brought, the only question that I brought to this.
No, we're not going to do that. Hey,
The
Mr.
mammalian-
Owens.
The mammalian meat.
Mr. Owens, are you going to spend more on a rod or a reel?
Rod.
Sassy Dan, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
It works.
Okay.
No.
all
That's
right.
not the question.
He said yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
See, you know what? I'm disliking Sassy Dan more and more. He's picking on me.
Hey,
He's fucking
Steve-O didn't like me when he
fine.
met me either.
Hey, I didn't like him for about 2 years until he had my back. We went to one of those stupid little Tennessee football games.
At
And
Neyland,
so we both smoked
Put some respect
cigarettes. And so, like, I'm not going to go to a Braves game and wear a Yankees hat. I just don't do that. So, but I
Because you're a
accidentally.
bandwagon. Because you're a bandwagon
there was a-
fan. Gotcha.
There was a lady I was seeing in Knoxville, and so I accidentally had my Alabama hat. I'm not married to her, by the way. So I had my Alabama hat on. And so he and I go to smoke a cigarette, and this guy says, "You got the wrong hat on, don't you, boy?" And I looked and I said, "No, that's the one I got off your mama's dresser." And Daniel about choked, like Don Johnson choking on a Marlboro. And that old boy, he looked, and they just walked off. But he was right there with me.
All right.
That's when I started liking, because he's always got that smirk. He's got a smirk about him.
He
You know?
does.
Yeah.
I didn't have the
You know?
beard. Y'all would have done cancel me.
Well,
He does have a smirk. Look at that thing through that
Yeah.
mustache. You can even see it.
shit. Dan said he's 5'5". I'd walk away from somebody looking at me like that too.
I said 5'9".
Without
I'm
the
not-
beard,
I'm not-
he's like a chain link fence. You want to shake him really hard. But he's all right now. He's good.
All right, Mr.
Look, you never
Owens.
know.
Mr. Owens, is it Crocs or is it flops?
Oh, he's getting them.
Show and
He's
tell.
getting them.
Hell yeah.
He is
They're not
showing.
Crocs, though.
He's showing a red high heel.
They're Birkenstocks. They're not
Birkenstocks.
Crocs.
Oh my
Birkenstocks.
God!
Oh,
You can't
Mr.
take
They got
the
fancy
money.
Crocs.
$5 cheaper than Crocs. Change your life.
You know what's funny is they
Change your
come
life.
standard when you buy a Subaru. I know I have a pair.
But he meant shoes.
Well, I am a
He meant
lesbian,
balls.
so
All right, Sassy Dan, is it hype music or slow jams when you're on your way to the water?
Hype music all day long.
And what does that mean to you? What is hype music to you?
Badass woman sometimes. You never know.
The fuck
I
is
don't
that?
know what that is.
Have you not heard that song?
No.
Oh,
Who sings it?
pull it up now. Somebody pull it up.
yeah.
No, that's how we
sings
get
it?
copyright
Search
strike.
Badass. Oh, yeah. It's Badass Woman. That's a good one. But other than that, it's
Who sings it, Dan?
oh, fuck. You got to make me Google this shit.
Oh my God.
He's
Hey,
a Paul
Steve-O,
Carthren guy. He's a Paul Carthren guy.
Yes.
I don't know who that is.
Cocaine Country Music's next.
Country
Oh.
dance.
Next on that.
Voodoo.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some real fucking Southern shit. Holy shit.
What you
What?
said?
Y'all don't know Paul Cawthon?
No, I don't
Yeah,
fuck my
I
Oh,
cousin.
my fuck. It'll change
Cocaine.
your life. Cocaine Country Dancing.
fucking your cousin or the artist?
Alex Elton John does not tour anymore. Okay,
I know.
he
it's a
doesn't
sad
tour
thing.
anymore.
He was my
Meghan
rocket
Trainor
man.
did Badass Woman, but Paul Cawthon's in that mix for sure.
Who's
Elton
Megan
John's a
Trainor?
man, by the way.
What?
I like him.
Who's
It's
Megan
all
Trainor?
about that bass. that bass.
That
all
yeah,
about
absolutely.
that bass.
Oh, that's Megan Trainor. All right.
Yeah. Fucking
cool.
fine.
Hey,
Hey,
Mr. Owens.
hey, that was
What's her
guilty
daddy's
pleasure
name?
on
What's her daddy's name?
Rob
Kravis?
Schneider.
Kit.
Rob Schneider. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
That's El King.
No, that's El King. Yeah, that's
Same
What I
thing.
said. El King.
Megan
That's what I said.
Trainor's
El King.
daddy's not famous.
That's what I said. I'm talking about El
King's
King.
daddy is Rob Schneider.
What are y'all talking about?
Yeah,
Yankees
El
are gonna
King, not
mess
Megan
around and lose this
Trainor.
Yeah,
game.
Megan Trainor's daddy's not famous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
don't
I
know
said.
why
Dan.
No, no,
I'm talking
Trainor,
about El King.
your family.
That's
might
why I
be
said
famous,
Lieutenant
but-
Dan. Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
What the fuck? Cool. Hey, Mr.
Something
Owens.
is wrong with his medulla oblongata.
It's bad. Hey, Mr. Owens.
Mama
speaking
said
of
them
food,
alligators
my
all
God,
ornery
shut
because
up.
they got all the.
Done. Just fucking done. Mr. Owens, do you
Yes,
eat
sir.
beaver?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How do you prepare it?
Rare.
Rare. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Like just like a little pink, or you adding seasoning to it, or
You don't really get to control that. It just is what it is.
It could be a hot day. You get your own seasoning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get that little twang. It's okay.
Sometimes you got a little Parmesan. I mean, you just got to deal with what you got. It just is what it is, bud. This is
I don't-
America, Jerry.
I don't think we're talking about the same
See,
beaver.
I think you're talking about a different beaver.
No, he ain't.
No.
It's the only beaver we know.
All right, Sassy Dan, largemouth bass. You eat them?
No.
You motherfucker. You
He's out here
disappointed
talking
me.
about
Hey,
cocaine
hey.
cowboy and hip haw, hickety haw, all this
Striped
shit.
bass.
He says,
Like striped bass, yeah. Like I've not eaten a largemouth since I was probably 8 years old. So
We
So
live in the
if y'all-
South where tournament fishermen kill largemouth.
that's true.
Look, let me
Right.
tell
We
you
are
something.
God forbid you eat 'em.
conservationists.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. Alex and I may or may not fish when he comes down, but Steve Dan, if y'all come down this way and you come down during the spawn, we're gonna catch a 6 to 8 pounder. I'm gonna flay it
Where?
out. I'm gonna deep fry the eggs, and we're gonna eat 8-pound bass fillets.
Yep.
Deep fried. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be the best thing you've ever eaten.
we'll
Hey, I'll
never
tell
eat
you
it because
what.
evidently you can't catch a 6 pound according to your partner there.
It's just true.
That is true.
It's
That
true.
is true.
Hey,
Well, Alex
it-
is in New Jersey. He literally cannot catch a 6-pound.
Alex, do you
Yeah.
eat smallmouth?
I don't have
Yes.
smallmouth here. I don't know.
He don't eat fish.
I eat fish. I eat saltwater fish all the time.
You eat beaver?
Do I eat beaver? No, a lot of logs though. A lot of logs. It's all those years.
Yeah.
All those years at sea. I just like wood.
Do you eat pink-
your bottom
pink-
lip is
pink
red. I
sausage?
could tell. So hey, you were talking about smallmouth. I had me and my wife did a fly in to Emo, Ontario, Canada.
My wife and I.
Yeah, that's what I said. Me and my wife, me and my old lady. So we had just got married, and so we didn't see another person for like 6 days, and we're catching the piss out of smallmouth, largemouth, and I catch one walleye. And where we're at, it's an amazing little cabin, brand new kind of thing. Well, with all the bear, you couldn't just gut your fish. You had to take your scraps and get back on your boat, take it to this big rock sticking up out of the water, which is an island, throw your scraps on it and come back. And these little eagles come down and eat it and everything. So I'm sitting there messing around. Jordan, she gets hung up in a tree or something. I hand her my rod. She flips out. She catches like a 4.5 pound large smallmouth. In Canada, that's like a 7 pounder down here.
Mhm.
And so I put it in a live well, let it change colors and let her see, the patterns and all that. And so we don't catch any more fish the rest of that day. So I don't know how to fillet for nothing. I mean, I could probably take your heart out better than I could fillet a fish. And so, but I've got this new knife. And so to get there, you have to ship your stuff to Canada. You can't just put it on a plane. So I ship like a 50-pound box full of tackle. And we catch fish on a black and chartreuse lizard, watermelon red Cinco. I've got everything you can think of. We just started fishing, and so we're having a damn good time. And we pull up, and she almost catches like a 6-foot lake trout, dude. And so she ends up catching another smallmouth, and we filleted the hell out of them and ate them. Like up there on those it's called Slender Lakes in Ontario. You literally can scoop up and drink the water out of those lakes.
Yeah.
That fit. If you've ever, do you guys have
crappie? Bucket in it?
Yeah, we got crappie.
Oh no, that's a story. So
yeah, but also you can drink the water here in New Jersey. You just get the runs and hallucinate afterwards.
This is true. Yeah, and so me and my wife, she was raised in Mayberry. We didn't live together, before we got married. So we're married now. We're in Canada. 3 or 4 days into it, we're in a Lund boat, nice boat, and we go to what they call the bluff area. And that's what it is. It's bluff, nothing but bluffs. And when you go to Canada, if you've never been, they don't have 7,000 different chemicals in Captain Crunch. It's literally Captain Crunch and milk. That's what it is. And so it takes you about a day and a half, you shit your teeth out, and then you're good. And so the food is cleaner, is what I'm getting at. And so we're on day number 2, and we ain't made it all the way yet. And we're out fishing about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm talking about it hits me. My kneecaps locked up. I started sweating on my upper lip, and I couldn't move. And she's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "Baby, I gotta go. I gotta go." She's like, "No." And I'm paranoid. It took me 5 years of kayak fishing before I would drop a deuce on the bank. When I was a kid, we were hunting. I would go to the house and crap and come back. So we're sitting there in the middle of nowhere. We're like an hour and a half back from our cabin. And I pull up to the bank, and I can't lift my leg out of that boat. If I did, I'd have blew her head off.
But he was smart. There. He was smart, and he said, "GoPro, stop recording," but it heard something different.
And so I grabbed a bucket. I had brought a bucket for trash or whatever, because we're out there all day long. It's like literally it didn't get dark till like 10 p.m. every night. And so I said, "Jordan, I got to go." And she's like, "No." I said, "I got to go, baby." So she turns her head and she's going, "La, la, 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 la." And I sit down on that bucket, man, and it was like Independence Day. I mean, it's just going off. And I was like, I cannot believe this. I just got married, and I'm crapping on a bucket in the middle of Canada.
You got to do what you got to do.
Canada. Yeah. And so we go on about our business, and then we do another trip to San Diego, Dodgers Stadium, Padres, all that.
What does this have to do with largemouth bass?
Well, hey, Steve, you didn't tell them that.
So I pull out the SD card. I pull out the SD card to upload our pictures to show our family. And there's a video. And at some point I had said, "I'm glad I turned the GoPro off." Well, it said GoPro on and recorded the it going down.
Whole time she's over there just fearful for her life.
Going la 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 la.
Yeah. Shitting in a 5-gallon because when you fart, if you fart or shit in a 5-gallon bucket, it's like hitting a fucking drum.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
it's louder.
All right. All right. You each are going to answer this question. This is the most important question. This is the most one that you get flack on. That's true.
You're not my real dad.
So
not my
I'm
real
going to start with Sassy Dan because I'm not his real dad, but God damn it, I care.
You have to do the highest of highs, the lowest of lows.
I'm about ready to, but you keep fucking interrupting me every time I talk.
Well, because you're
shut up, Rudy.
Exactly, Rudy. Shut up. All right.
Fuck you, Lieutenant Dan. Little
fucking
no-leg bitch.
These are going to take you.
Style, Steve-O.
Say again?
Look at your name.
Is he frozen for anybody else? Anyways,
I'm frozen.
These are going to take you to the highest highs to become a serious angler, to the lowest lows to the dark waters. Sassy Dan, every loves a great sandwich. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Ooh. I'm gonna say
weenus.
No.
Scrotum?
Roast beef, salami.
Okay.
And pastrami.
Safe options. Safe options.
I love it. Mr. Owens, aka Mr. Poopy Pants. Same question to you.
What was the question?
What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Red wiener.
Red
not
wiener.
hamburgers, but like sandwiches.
I mean, a hamburger is a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't speak.
What is a taco,
like
guys?
that, people get mad.
It's a sandwich also.
Man, what do they make Reuben sandwiches out of?
Not pastrami?
It's, corned beef. Yeah, pastrami. Yeah.
Oh, corned beef. Or one of those. There you go.
Pastrami.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's one.
And
you got two more.
That's one. I like a lot of combo sandwiches.
Well, name
I
two
love
meats.
good pepperoni. Good pepperoni.
Okay.
Good pepperoni.
When he said combo sandwich, I figured a piece of bread with a bag of combos spilled out into them, and then another piece of
Hey,
bread.
that might be a game changer though. Combos are the shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, like when you go to y'all have Firehouse subs up there.
Yeah.
Fuck Firehouse. Let me tell you, I went to Firehouse 2 weeks ago and got the.
Oh, thank God.
I can't.
He's sitting there
jamming
on Firehouse. No one comes back.
The third one.
No.
Gotta be ham.
Yeah,
like
third
ham.
one.
My favorite color is ham.
Hey, the answer's ham, Rudy and Dead Cat.
My favorite color is ham.
Okay. Y'all didn't say beans or spinach, or
So those
or
are answers that. Well, we've gotten people.
Yeah, our good buddy Bailey from Serious Angler, Steve-O. I'm sure both of y'all know Bailey. He said,
spinach.
That's a protein.
Yeah, well, that's how you get
Did
the
you
best
kick him?
ass. No, that's how you get the best ass in kayak fishing is having a spinach sandwich.
That's how you get punched in your grill in the second grade. Is I'm going to eat a spinach sandwich. You ain't got nothing to trade. You ain't got no fruit roll-ups. You ain't got no Capri Suns. You're getting whooped because you eat a spinach sandwich.
Russ Snyder's got the best ass in kayak fishing.
Russ Snyder's is 5'2".
and
weighs 146 pounds and has 93 pounds of buttocks.
Yeah, well, Bailey has the best ass in kayak fishing, but Russ has the best deck picks.
That he does. All right, everybody. It's been fun. Mr. Owens, Lieutenant Sassy Dan, it's been great having you on the show. To all you brewskis out there, have the week you deserve. Try not to be assholes, and if you're going to be, then just fucking own it.
Hey-o!